presented by coaches
Yeah.
Chad Helly.
He told me that earlier this week.
And remove your caps with recognition towards our flag as the Triton Marching Band, conducted by Director of Athletic Bands Jeremy Smith, plays the national anthem of the United States of America, the Star Spangled Banner.
I'm Dan Johnson here with Rob Jones. Rob, great to have you here today.
Oh, good to be here, Dan Johnson. Good to work with you, and also to be here for this game today as the Tritons look to capitalize here and build off some momentum. They've won 2 in a row. They won the ICC-AC Conference title with the win last week against Ellsworth in an in-state game, so kind of doubly sweet to win that one, and looking to put that together against Independence, an Independence team that's 4-3 on the year. They've won 2 of the last 3, and you know, in the JUCO ranks, Dan Johnson, Independence is a name that rings a lot of bells for a lot of reasons. A lot of people, even in the mainstream casual fans, know that name because of their kind of infamy, for lack of a better term, from Last Chance U on Netflix.
A couple of seasons where they followed Independence through their
Yeah.
seasons.
And Coach Downtown Jason Brown, who's no longer here, but an interesting character. I tell you what, he's a polarizing kind of guy. I don't know him personally, but in talking to coaches around the country that do know him, you either kind of love him or you kind of hate him. And I could see that would be the case based on that series. I was a big fan of the Last Chance U series, but so that's kind of come to life here. But, you know, nonetheless, Coach Jesse Montalto in his career all time, 5-1 against Independence, and I believe he told me he was 3-0 against Jason Brown or something of that nature, and I don't remember the exact, so don't quote me on that, but I do know that he had his relative success when Jason Brown was at Independence.
Right. You said that Independence Community College coming in 4-3, Iowa Central coming in with a 5-4 record, so they've got the similar win percentages overall for their teams coming in here, but Iowa Central may be hoping that the couple of extra games on the schedule are going to give them some more experience and momentum coming into this game?
I think so, and I think the last couple of games have been good for the momentum. They got DJ Irons back. You know, DJ went out in the first half against Snow, which was where Iowa Central had that 3-game losing streak that started against Snow, and DJ missed most of that time. Now DJ's back. We saw him the last home game. We saw him very limited at the end of the game against Dodge City. Not Dodge City. Help me out here. The other Kansas team that Iowa Central lost to, Garden City. I get those two kind of Dodge City, Garden City, you know, a little confused. But against Dodge City or Garden City, we saw him a little bit at the end of the game there. And now he's back and playing at a high level like he was before the injury, coming off a almost 300-yard performance last week. Well, it's a big one for recruiting, Dan Johnson, because you've got an in-state team who you're a conference rival with. You're able to beat them to win the conference title, but you also beat them, and that's something you can point to in the offseason for recruiting and say, if a guy's 50-50 between you and Ellsworth, well, we just won the conference title, and we did it by beating the other school that you're considering going to, so you probably want to get over here to Fort Dodge and go to Iowa Central.
That's always a big thing. You brought up the recruiting for the these two.
Triton fans on your feet, are you ready for some Triton football?
A big thing for four-year universities coming to some of these games, being able to JUCO. For a lot of football players, just kind of a stop maybe
along the way.
Couldn't get to a university, whether you got into some trouble or just it didn't show out. Maybe you got an injury in your senior year, so you're coming to junior college. But it's not something that you should take lightly. You can see it as a stepping stone to kind of show out.
Right. Well, and people that know football know junior colleges. They know what it means to play at a place. Central plays. I've talked all year long about just the top flight schedule that Iowa Central plays, as they've partnered with the Jayhawk Conference to play those teams out of conference, which is, for folks that don't know, basically the SEC equivalent to JUCO football there. So they've challenged themselves in the schedule there, and shout out to Athletic Director Kevin Twait for putting together what I believe has to be one of the toughest schedules at the JUCO level in the nation.
Talk about the difficulty of the schedule. You can always come in and look at difficulty one of two ways. As a player, you can kind of scare you a little bit and make you tense up in those scary situations. You come in with the mindset, hey, these guys are good, but we're better, and we're going to go ahead. And I think they kind of did that against Iowa Western earlier this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you talked about kind of the recruiting into the what they call a bounce back guy who starts at a four-year D1 school and ends. So they have several on this Independence roster that are bounce back guys. You'll see the quarterback today, Stephon Brown, who's a bounce back from Indiana for them. So that's something they're well versed in. A lot of the schools in the Jayhawk Conference are familiar with that type of thing with the bounce back. Iowa Central has got a couple of guys from the D1 level that have transferred in, Kirk Taylor being one. But Independence, a very talented team, and a lot of that has to do with the Division I transfers that they have. And that includes Saturday. I think I got in from my other broadcasting duties last night around 12:30. Got up at 6, was in the office before 7, ready to roll this morning.
Pirate action today. The Pirate.
Ryan Pinella kicking off for Independence to start today's ballgame.
Close to their heart as they
Rashad Whitty and Scooby Ford back deep for Tritons.
They've been a little bit of a different team, at least in the first half of the season at home, and we'll see how that carries over today. Now, they have had some road success, the Tritons, in the last couple of weeks, but I noticed a little difference early in the year, a little extra hitch in their giddy-up, if you will, when they're playing here at Dodger Stadium.
He's quite the leader for the Tritons, as you see. They let it roll back into the end zone. 21 Christian Ford would have been the closest one to it, but they're going to let it roll back. So the Tritons will start from their own 20-yard line today. Start off with the first drive The game got the fresh 15-minute clock up to start off today's game.
And we'll see DJ Irons. He's back off the injury. We talked about that in the open. Almost 300 yards last week, playing at a high level. Also, a guy who has emerged that we'll see at quarterback today, Chance Gibbons, as he's really emerged in the last few weeks in this little mini win streak, a guy who had 2 rushing touchdowns last week.
As you said, we've got DJ Irons in shotgun formation. He's got 3 backs to his right and a couple out to his left. As it looked like we might have seen some motion there from the Independence line. See if we get a false offsides call on the Independence Pirates there.
It's hard to tell. I couldn't exactly tell who jumped there.
Offsides,
it is going to be
contact.
offsides.
Defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Off yet, and they're getting some extra yardage there to start off the game.
Well, now that puts you in a situation where, you know, it's 1st and 5, so you can be aggressive in your play calling here.
DJ Irons, shotgun formation again. 3 back to his right, 2 backs, 3 back receivers to his right and 2 to his left. As Irons keeps it himself, goes around the right side.
DJ Irons on the carry.
Close to the Triton 30-yard line. Let's see where they put it for sure.
Gain 1 on the play.
Backfield trying to spread out the Independence defense. As we can see here, Dan Johnson, Independence very big on the defensive line. We talked about them having D1 transfer guys. That's something you see there with that size, the defensive line, trying to spread them out here.
DJ Irons, shotgun formation again, and back to his
Irons on the quarterback keeper.
Here, so 3rd and short, what you want to be in that manageable situation. We'll see what they.
Timeout, Iowa Central. That's their first charge time out of the half.
Here on the Triton Nation Network with DJ Irons, shotgun formation, a back to his left, 3 receivers out to his left as well, and 1 to his right. Got a 3rd and short situation, 3rd and about 3. Irons getting some chatter with the line. Taking his time with the snap here, 4 seconds on the play clock, takes a handoff, fires out over the middle, and it looks like it's going to be incomplete.
Irons pass incomplete, headed for Whitty.
Rashad Whitty. 4th and short.
Treadwell on coverage for Independence. Brings up 4th down.
Saw a bad snap there, and DJ kind of had a hard time handling it, and that kind of changed the complexion of that play, disrupted the rhythm.
Looks like we're going to have the Tritons punt it away here. Independence with number 15, Denzel Houston back.
Houston back deep for the Pirates.
Or excuse me, back for the Pirates. He's at about the Pirates 20-yard line.
Houston's a redshirt freshman out of Lakeland, Florida here. Daytona Beach, Florida, excuse me. A lot of Florida guys on this roster for Indy.
A little bit of an end-over-end punt going to be received around the 25.
Houston forced out of bounds at about the 27-yard line where Independence takes over, 1st and 10.
Come up from the 20-yard line. So they'll be around their own 25. The Pirates will start off their first drive of the game today.
We'll see the Iowa Central defense for the first time today, and we've seen as the course of the season, they've played well, they've gotten better and improved. here, so we'll see. We'll have to keep track of how he looks today going through the injury here.
So Independence, pistol formation and back behind. Fires it. Getting close to their own 40-yard line.
Brown's pass is complete.
For a first down.
Dell on the reception.
Nathaniel Dale, a 5'9", 150-pound redshirt freshman out of Daytona, Florida, Daytona Beach, with a catch there. Football, that's what they do, but they did come out throwing it on first down.
And after Shamari Jones.
Florida, and I tell you, you look at this roster, and it's Florida, 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 Florida. A lot of good football players down there in Sunshine State. Independence has several of them.
Second and 4 for the Indy Pirates with Brown. Shotgun formation, and back to his right, and 3 receivers to his right as well. He's going to keep it.
Jeffrey Brown, our quarterback keeper. Right now the Triton 45. Stop made.
Interesting to see how they react to that.
Brown in shotgun with a back behind him. 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right.
Inside handoff. Senior Donald. Stop made by Casey for the Tritons.
The Tritons wrestle him down, but second short.
Brown
with Dollard again to his right. 3 receivers to his right as well as he's in shotgun. Takes the snap. Keeps it himself.
Brown on the keeper. Fumble on the play, recovered by Tritons. Fumble is recovered by Jaron Barber.
Brown takes an arm to his right side, coughs up the ball, and Barber able to come up with it.
Recovering that one, I'm not sure who knocked it out there, but Barber on the spot to get the recovery.
So the Tritons set up from their own 34-yard line. DJ Iron shotgun formation, 3 receivers to his left and a couple out to his right. He's going to fire it along the right sideline, just about connected with number 2, Tenarius Aiken.
Iron's pass incomplete, intended for Tenarius Aiken.
On it, Aiken did. Looked like he might have tried some Odell Beckham Jr.
Julian Stryker on coverage for Independence.
So stopped around 11:35, second and 10 for the Tritons.
What DJ recognized there was the one-on-one coverage on the outside, and anytime you can get Tenarius Aiken in one-on-one coverage, you feel good about taking a shot with him. Such a guy who can absolutely run.
Irons with the fake handoff.
Irons on the quarterback keeper.
Trying to beat some Pirates there.
Brought down for a loss of 2.
Brought down around.
Tyrese Knight with the stop.
Looks like a loss of a couple yards. 3rd and now 12 for the Tritons. The
There's a 3rd and 11.
A difficult situation the Tritons have been in both possessions here, 3rd and long situations. You want to try to correct that if you can and get in these 2nd and 3rd and manageable situations.
DJ Irons, shotgun formation, 3 receivers to his right and 2 to his left this time. Getting some chatter with the sideline and the rest of his guys on the field. Irons taking his time, 3 seconds on the play clock, takes his snap, looking out to the right side, trying to find somebody, getting some pressure from the Pirates.
Irons going to be sacked on the play.
By number, looks like 6 of Indy.
Craig Wells.
DeAndre Butler with the
Well, they said DeAndre Butler. DeAndre Butler on this roster list is 5 on the defense, but he's wearing 6. So I'm going to change that on the program here. DeAndre Butler, a 6'4" defensive lineman, 280-pound freshman out of Covington, Georgia.
We're going to have the Tritons set to run.
Houston back deep.
Blend up from about their own 10-yard line, so a little bit further back than they were before. As we've got the Pirates set to receive the punt around the 30-yard line. Tritons this one end over end, a little nicer than the last one was. Bounces pretty straight up into the air, going to take a little bit of a...
Ball be down to the 32-yard line.
Around the 32-yard line of the Independence.
John Walls on the special teams.
Second drive of the game.
Okay.
Last drive, looking
Independence
like
takes over
about
1st and
to
10.
end up in Independence touchdown, if not getting themselves into the end zone, but then the ball coughed up and the Tritons were able to come up with it.
A 42-yard punt from Jacob Tokum, the freshman punter for the Iowa Central Tritons.
It's back out on the field now. We got number 2, Stephon Brown, still in the quarterback spot. He's in shotgun with a back behind him. 3 receivers to his right, 2 receivers to his right, and 1 out to his left.
Pound running back out of Reynoldsburg, Ohio. He's the power back for these guys. Watch for him in short yardage situations and in between the tackles, and he carried it right up the middle that time for a big gain.
Stephon Brown and the Independence Pirates from their own 46-yard line. Brown takes a snap. And that's where they'll put it. So now,
Ball back to
barely
Triton, 39
entering
seconds,
Triton
5.
territory with just about 9 minutes, 15 seconds left in this first quarter.
Jerron Barber came in to make the stop. He and Rocky Schoenfelter combining for the tackle for Iowa Central.
Brown with back to his right, 3 receivers to his right, fakes a handoff, going to keep it himself this time. A little juke move to cut
Stephen
back.
Barber with the carry.
Getting down by the right sideline. Looked like he picked up that first down. Might have gotten around the Triton 35-yard line.
We saw that dual threat ability, that running ability there. That's why that young man was recruited by the University of Indiana. You saw that athleticism there and the ability to make people miss in the open field.
Brown coming into this game with 284 rush yards for himself. As he's set up shotgun formation again and back to one Heath, but just a little over Heath's head.
Now we saw there that the wind kind of blew that pass, so that's going to be a factor here. Conditions going to be a factor. It is windy, clear and nice outside, but it is windy here, so we'll see how that plays into the passing game today.
We have seen a couple of those punts from Iowa Central in that direction so far, getting a little extra added behind him. We've got Stephon Brown, shotgun formation and back. Last time getting
24-yard line, 1st and 10.
So the Pirates trying to make up for that turnover on their last drive.
And we see Independence doing what they want to do, run the ball downhill, kind of ground and pound here. That's their game, and that's what they've been able to do here. As Brown's going to line up in the pistol set here with a new man in the backfield for Independence.
Handoff this time to number 5, Shamari Jones.
Shamari Jones on the carry. Gain of 3 on the play, brings up 2nd and 7.
For the first time today, we've got a red zone possession.
One to his right and one to his left. Looking to find a receiver, but he decides to keep it himself as he has a little juke.
Throwing on the keeper.
Triton 17-yard line.
Minutes.
To try and get the 3rd down conversion.
They need the 14. They're operating from the 17 here. Need the 13 for the, or the 14 for the first down here.
Round pistol formation, a back behind him and a receiver on each side.
Going to be stuck right at the line scrimmage for no gain. Proctor on the stop for the Titans. Brings up 4th.
Malik Adams in there with some help as well. Some other guys from the secondary. Tremendous job of reading that one, flowing to the lanes, and then attacking the ball carrier for the Triton defense.
Now 4th and 5. They're going to have number 63, Jalen Triton, come on and try and put this one through the uprights for a field goal. The first score of the game.
Going to be a 32-yard attempt here. He's way off.
Yanked right.
Jane Troutman with the field goal attempt.
So we're still going to be scoreless here at Dodger Stadium.
Trying to take over 1st and 10.
Tritons and the Independence Pirates.
Yeah. And you know here, Dan, the defense for Iowa Central, they're bending, but they're not breaking. That's what's most important. It really doesn't matter if you give up 400 total yards of offense. It depends, you know, it all matters.
Five make him settle for the field goal as we see it go right there. And now Triton's going to come in on their own 20-yard line to try and make something happen on this drive. We've got quarterback DJ Irons, shotgun formation, a back to his left, 3 receivers to his left and 1 to his right.
Kurt Taylor on the carry.
Kurt Taylor right up the gut there. Now I'm looking here, Dan, to see get these playmakers in space with these high percentage passes, try to dump it off and see what you can get in terms of yards after the catch.
DJ Irons set up in shotgun for the Tritons, a back to his right, 3 receivers to his right as well and 1 out to his left. Hands this one off. Triton 15-yard line.
54, Balimi Funahu comes up with the fumble recovery. He's a 6'3", 320-pound defensive tackle out of Euless, Texas there, coming up with that. There's a little miscommunication between DJ and Kurt Taylor there on the zone read. You know, that zone read is completely up to the quarterback whether he wants to give it or keep it there, and I don't think they were on the same page on that one.
Going to take over on the Triton 16-yard line. You see the snap to Brown.
Penalty marker on the play.
For the first score of the game, so now the Pirates going to be up.
Well, there is a marker on the play, so we'll see.
Get for this call here, see if the touchdown gets called back. This would be a big one, as the Pirates would get some
holding. Number 67, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
Of the Pirate team, Missy Savea. So that one going to get called back. Not going to be happy with that.
Savea's a 6'7", 320-pound sophomore out of Hawaii. Kapolei, Hawaii. A lot of Polynesian guys, too, on this roster for Independence. We see those guys usually coming from the western part of the U.S. and a lot of Division I guys who are Polynesian as well. So I think that we have that factor for Independence as well.
Brown keeps this one, fires it out to the right side. Looked like he might have gotten some pressure.
Bounce pass intended for Dallas, incomplete.
And this is no dig against Independence or the state of Kansas or anything, but if you're from Hawaii and you go to Kansas, like, well, you talk about culture shock for a young guy going away from home for the first time. Wow. I tell you what, I've been to Independence, Kansas in that area before, and it's a fine area and some great people out there, but I don't think I'd trade Hawaii for that area.
Quite different. It would be a big shock when you get a
Malik Adams with the tackle for the Tritons.
Malik Adams in there for the Triton defense and comes up. He read that one. Good job by Malik there. Take that tackle on, shed that block, and make the play.
So still a third and long.
There's a 3rd and 18 for the Pirates.
18 for the Independence Pirates. As Brown gets some communication from the sideline. They line up. Shotgun form, a back to his left, 3 receivers to his right. Brown takes a snap, looking out to his right. Nathaniel Dell.
Dale is the guy they will target in the passing game, their leading receiver coming in on the season.
Be close to the end zone here, set up on the 1-yard line of the Iowa Central Tritons, just under 5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
I would say Brown probably keeps it himself.
Brown on quarterback keeper takes in for his touchdown.
To do here after that 1-yard run, Stephon Brown, Independence Pirate quarterback. Currently on the year, as I said, got 284 yards off of about 68 rush attempts coming into this game. We'll have number 79 of the Independence Pirates.
Extra point by Brian Pennell is good.
Extra point is going to be
at the
good.
4:49 mark. You score Independence 7, Iowa Central 0.
We're going to be Independence Pirates 7 and the Iowa Central Tritons 0. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with a kickoff by the Independence Pirates right here on the Triton Nation Network. Back here on the Triton Nation Network. In case you missed it, we just had a 1-yard run by Independence quarterback Stephon Brown into the end zone. The point after was good, so the Pirates up 7.
23rd on the return place at the 26-yard line, 1st and 10.
Back, the Indiana transfer now with a little over 4.5 to play in the first quarter. The question is, Dan Johnson, can the Iowa Central offense respond?
We also saw
Nelson Lewis on the special teams tackle for Independence.
They had a holding call bringing back by Tayon Dollar.
Yeah, they've had two kind of key mistakes. One on that hold that hurt them, and one on the fumble where they were, driving the ball in Iowa Central territory at that point.
DJ Irons takes a snap looking to pass, finds a receiver out on the right side.
Nice pass complete to Rashad Whitty.
Whitty might have gotten a yard or two on that one before
knocked out by Juwan Treadwell.
Tackle made by DeJuan Treadwell, the 5'11", 190-pound redshirt sophomore out of Crete, Illinois, making the play there.
2nd and 7 for the Tritons from their own 30-yard line. DJ Irons shotgun formation, a back to his left, a receiver to his right, and 3 receivers to his left. He fires out to the right side, going to air that one out. And we had number 10, Terrell Casey.
Nice pass incomplete.
That reception, trying to bring that one. He tried to reach back, hit the one hand, haul it in, but couldn't quite get it
was good coverage by number 7 there for Indy. Number 7 being Jalen Stryker on that corner. A big corner, 6'2", 190 pounds. You saw he was able to use that size there.
DJ Irons shotgun formation back to his right. The receivers on each side of him. As he gets some direction from the sideline here. Let's do just under 10 seconds on the play clock. 3rd and 7 for the Tritons. Irons takes the snap, looking out to his right side. Going to move up in the pocket, decide to keep it himself. He's going to pick up that first down and some extra.
DJ Irons on the quarterback keeper, takes it into Pirates territory for the Triton. First down!
It's about a 25-yard run there by DJ Irons.
Hey, you know, DJ there, that's the a big play for him. Smart recognition, but that's the longest play from scrimmage today thus far for the Triton offense.
So DJ Irons able to, on that rush, get him into Pirate territory on the 46. As he's looking to pass, rolls out to his left, fires it to his left sideline, and we'll see what
pass to Irons. Ruled incomplete.
We're going to call that one incomplete.
Intended for J. Michael Young.
He was looking for Jason Young over there, and Young made a nice catch there, just couldn't haul it in bounds. Jason Young's a guy who has all the physical tools, and we'll see if he starts to really get it, become more productive. He's a big guy, can run. Let's see how he's factored into the game today.
Irons takes the snap, this time a handoff.
Good Taylor on the carry.
Kurt Taylor, they've not been able to get much going for Kurt here thus far today. But, you know, Kurt's had a nice season. At points in the season, he's been in the top 5 in JUCO in rushing attempts and rushing yardage, especially when DJ was out with the injury. Taylor was kind of the workhorse for the offense.
There's about 3 minutes left in the first quarter here. Irons and Taylor in the backfield with them. 5 seconds on the play clock. Irons takes it on a little bit slower of a snap, trying to get away from some of the Independence pressure. He's able to get it off right as he's hit.
Irons pass incomplete, intended for Whitty.
Pressure on the play from Indy there, number 10, Tyrese Knight, a 6'2", 240-pound redshirt freshman linebacker. Guess where he's from, Dan Johnson?
Well, Hayden on coverage.
Florida.
3rd and 7.
Just talking about
4th and 7.
Some pretty great players coming through.
That's all. I mean, you look at that. It's Florida. I mean, a lot of Florida guys. You see that around college football. It's a state that produces a tremendous amount of talent.
So we've got the punt returner that we've seen for the Norm from Independence back to receive this time. Denzel Houston once again. They'll take it as the Tritons punt from about their own 45. This one a little aired out, but we see that wind come into play end over end. Going to come to Houston.
Hit a catch at the 9-yard line, 1st and 10, Independence.
Independence Pirates. So now they'll start up their next drive after their score that they had. Sent Stephon Brown, quarterback keeper, for a yard to punch it into the end zone. First score of the game. The Pirates 7-0 here against the Tritons.
And I will say this, Jacob Tolam, the punter for Iowa Central, doing a good job. Another 40-yard plus punt, you know, over 40 yards. No defense take advantage of it.
So Brown going to start things off with this drive in shotgun formation and back to his left. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. We've got a handoff. This time to number 5, the Independence Pirates.
Troy Jones on the carry. Right down by Casey for the Titans.
Maybe a couple of yards on that one. Be 2nd and 8 for the Independence Pirates from their own 11.
Yeah, 2 on the papers up 2nd.
We talked about the Division I and Power 5 conference transfers that Indy has, and you can see that as their sideline is right by us, and you could see, judging on the size of these guys, that they are Division I guys. I was looking at 78 down there, and he's an absolute hoss, Joshua White.
Pass it out to the left side number 1, receiver number 1.
Bounce pass to Dell, sails out of bounds.
Pirates Dell. It's going to go a little bit behind. Might have had some wind interference on that. Kind of gets up after that pass.
Completion brings up 39.
Dell. So it'll be an incompletion. 3rd and 8 clock stop. Minute 56 left in the first quarter after that score.
Big third.
pass complete.
About a yard and a half short, so they'll punt it away here.
Fourth
Looks like
and
the Pirates
2.5.
will play this one safe as we got. So going to be the punt unit coming onto the field for Indy.
As good as their defense is played, you'd kind of be off your rocker to try to go for it in your own territory.
That's true. Pirates punt this one. We'll see if the wind plays a little bit. Catch at the 45-yard line. The Tritons themselves.
Good job there by Rashad Whitty to make the catch with a man bearing down on him there. You know, that's not always an easy thing to do. He hauls it in there, so no mistakes in the field position of the day here.
So now the Tritons set up DJ Irons and back to his right. 3 receivers to his right, none out to his left as he takes the snap. You see the fake handoff, and he's brought
Irons
down
will be sacked on the
by
play.
19, Mike Pope.
On the blitz on the edge there, he's kind of a hybrid. Sometimes they'll line him up at defensive end, sometimes they'll line him up at linebacker. That time he lined up kind of on the ground, hand on the ground.
Left to line up his receiver, 3 receivers to his right as well. Gonna fire that one over the middle.
Good coverage. Treadwell there, Juwan Treadwell, the defensive back there, the safety out of Crete, Illinois, able to come up and knock that one away.
So still 15 yards to go for the conversion. 3rd down currently for the Tritons. They're going to be lined up on their own 41-yard line for this 3rd and 15.
And yet again, another 3rd and long situation for the Triton offense here.
DJ Irons alone in the backfield in shotgun formation. 3 receivers to his right. Decides to keep it himself.
Irons on the quarterback keeper is going to be stopped by Mike Pope.
Brought down after a couple of yards gained.
They gave Mike Pope the credit for the tackle to the PA announcer, but I think he was screened off. That was not 19, it was 10. Tyrese Knight out of the linebacker spot there. Another Florida guy making a play there, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
13 for the Tritons.
20 seconds on the play
come in
clock,
confirmation.
30 on the game clock as the Tritons are going to
Flip the field because the wind is blowing, kind of against them here.
So that one going to end up landing around the 19-yard line of the Pirates.
First and 10.
Pirates are up 7-0
A
against
52-yard punt on the roll there. Jacob Tollum again doing his job, and now they've pinned them back even deeper. So at some point when your punter is giving you that kind of field position advantage, you got to take advantage of it here, and we'll see how that works out.
So we will see the Independence Pirates come out for what could be the last play of the first quarter. Stephon Brown in shotgun formation and back to his right. 3 receivers to his right and none out to his left. Brown takes a snap. We're going to see a handoff here. Awful close to the end zone. A scary situation is
Ellis on the carry
by some Tritons. There's Ellis on the carry there for the Independence Pirates as time expires.
Stop made by Marquise Brooks. That's it in the first quarter.
Central Triton 0. We'll take a quick break and then be right back.
Morgan Ellison.
There to Ellison. Ellison looked like he might have gotten a couple of yards on that run. He'll bring up third down and short for the
David Proctor on the stop for the Tritons.
And we've seen Independence kind of use a backfield by committee approach here, which is kind of the trend in college football. We've seen Morgan Ellison. We've also seen other guys, Shamari Jones in there as well, different guys. So we'll see if that continues.
Brown's pass is incomplete. Headed for Dell.
Daniel Dell of the Independence Pirates, but
E.J. Brown breaking it up for the Tritons.
That'll be fourth down.
He's a fourth down. Shot Woody dropping back deep for the Tritons.
So here we go. The field has been flipped again now, so the Tritons should have good field position here.
Ryan Pinnell to punt for the Pirates.
Pirates punting from their own end zone.
Almost.
From the Independence Pirates.
Good job of pressuring that one, though.
Trying to take over first.
They were about a split second from getting the block where the Tritons punt cover team there.
I'll put it midfield as the Tritons come on for their first drive of the second quarter. DJ Irons looking to be set up in shotgun formation. A back to his left, a receiver to his left as well, and three out to his right. Irons taking his time, sending Whitty in motion from the right to the left. As we see the fake handoff to him, he's going to keep it.
Irons on the quarterback keeper.
He'll get maybe a yard or two past midfield.
I do like the concept there of adding in the man in motion and the whole kind of motion, get the defense flowing, because Iowa Central has to do something at this point to get this defense kind of moving in another direction instead of letting them play straight downhill, because they're good at that, and they've been good at it today.
Right. So Whitty going in motion again from the right to the left. This time they'll snap it after he finds a spot on the left side. Irons keeping it himself. Gets met around midfield. Might have gotten a yard or two past there.
Headline of Independence.
Pretty hard hit there from Rich Hall, the defensive back for him. Out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. We could hear the impact from where we're at there on that hit on the sideline.
So now 3rd and 9 for the Tritons, trying to convert here, this third down conversion. Irons shotgun, a back to his left, two receivers to his left and two to his right. As we see some motion on that right end from the Pirates, but they're going to let that one go. Irons trying to stay alive in the backfield, and he's going to be brought down.
Line, we've called that name a few times here. He was able to get in there and make a play. Butler.
So Butler able to down conversion and turning it into a 4th and long now for the Iowa Central Tritons.
We saw again a 3rd and long situation for the Triton offense. That against a defense as good as Independence, what you're doing is allowing them to pin their ears back and rush the passer, and that's what happened on that 3rd down play.
So we're going to see the Tritons for the first time punting in this second quarter, see if going against the wind is going to hinder them too much. Just about blocked on that one. But we're going to see it come down around the end.
Houston on the return.
Houston, still the returner for the Pirates. Came down with that one, tried to get it back, might have gotten an extra yard or two, but he will catch call, and they'll be from their own 23-yard line.
A subtle nuance to the game, special teams. You talk about 3 phases of football: offense, defense, special teams. Well, today, the special teams for the Tritons punt coverage here.
So Stephon Brown now, shotgun formation, a back to his right, a receiver to his right, and 2 out to his left as he takes a snap, fakes a handoff, and keeps himself going around the right side towards the sideline. He's going to get pushed Independence 40-yard line.
Gain of 16 for Brown there. We talk about his ability as a dual threat guy, and you see it on display again there.
So
Independence Pirates more accurately going to be placed on their own 39-yard line. Stephon Brown in shotgun formation, a back to his now left, a receiver to his right, and two receivers out to his left. Brown takes a snap, looking out to his left side. Quick little pass out to that left side to Dell. Dell going to get around the 45-yard line of the Pirates before he's brought down. They'll keep the clock running, so he was kept in bounds. 11:45 and ticking in this second quarter. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Pirates here.
The Independents leading at 7-0 after a 1-yard touchdown run in the first.
And Brown now pistol formation and back behind him. Two receivers to his right and one to his left. Brown takes a snap, hands it off. And he's going to break free up the middle. Brought down around the 25-yard line of the Pirates. We had number 7, Dollard.
Little Tion dollar bill, y'all, right up the middle. A big gain in the Triton territory.
Yes, now on the Triton 27-yard line. 1st and 10 after that conversion. The receiver's out to his left. A handoff again. Going to be around the 15-yard line. That time to Ellison, Morgan Ellison of the Independence Pirates.
We see the ground and pound attack, and that's what they're going to do until you make them do something different.
Exactly. They'll keep going as long as they have their way with that run game, as they average just about 180 yards on the ground per game. Brown again. Pistol formation and back behind him. 3 receivers out to his left. They're going to do another handoff. It'll be a Dollard run once again. After we saw that big run by him.
Something I found interesting in doing research for the game and game prep was that the Pirates of Independence have 4 guys with 35 or more rushing yards per game. So really a collective effort. They're going to ground and pound you all day. When you got that many guys who you can keep fresh in the rotation, then that's exactly what they're going to try to do here today.
And it's impressive because those guys can all have different styles when they go out to run. So they keep the defense on their toes as we see Brown with another keeper. And it looks like they'll signal that one a touchdown, so it'll be the 2nd touchdown for the Pirates and 2nd even rushing touchdown for quarterback Stephon Brown, making the score 13-0, Pirates up against the Tritons.
And, you know, not only is Brown a good athlete, the dual threat guy, but he's a big guy, 6'5", 225 pound, a redshirt freshman out of Kernersville, North Carolina. Hello, Kernersville in eastern North Carolina. I'm from the Carolinas, so big hello to those folks down there. But, you know, a big guy who in that situation when he's going downhill can put his shoulder down and draw through contact.
So that extra point going to be good on that one. 10 minutes, 5 seconds left in our first half here. Score Independence Pirates 14 and the Iowa Central Tritons still scoreless. We'll take a quick break here on the Triton Nation Network and be right back with the rest of your second quarter. And we're back on the Triton Nation Network as we see the Pirates of Independence send that one back into the end zone for a touchback. 10 minutes, 5 seconds left in this second quarter. The Independence Pirates up 14-0 against the Tritons after we saw the second Stephon Brown not only touchdown but rushing touchdown. And he's the quarterback of the Pirate team.
But he's a dual threat guy. When you get in a situation, we talked about his size at 6'5", 225, and you get in a situation where it's downhill running, you know, and short yardage situations, he's got an advantage.
So the Tritons now with 10 minutes to work with, try and get themselves up on the board. The snap to Irons, fakes the handoff, able to connect with the receiver there over the top around the 35-yard line of the Tritons.
Good job there for DJ, taking what the defense gives him, and Tenarius found the seam there. That's what I want to see more of, is that short and intermediate passing game here.
So it'll be a first down for the Tritons there. from the 37-yard line.
Evidently.
Firing it out to the right sideline, attempted to connect with the receiver out there, just a little short. Intended for Terrell Carey of the Iowa Central Tritons. Looked like Irons. Maybe the wind played into that one, brought it back a little bit.
The PA announcer very excited over the first down for the Tritons.
If you couldn't hear it through the headsets, he was extremely excited on that first down.
It almost makes you wonder what he's going to do if they punch one in.
DJ Irons set up shotgun formation back to his right. Sends Whitty in motion from the left to the right. And Irons going to go out. Send it out to Rashad Whitty. Whitty looked like he had an interesting, might have scooped it in with his left hand and then controlled it to hold on. And gets out towards the left sideline. It'll be 3rd and about 5 for the Tritons. 9:40. Stop the clock there. Looked like Whitty might have been able to get out of bounds on that right sideline.
He got out of bounds, and as you said, he did a tremendous job of concentration on that one to get one hand on it and then reel it on in.
That's the thing. Some of these guys just think about the left hand or the one hand and catching and don't even think about the control. But Whitty with the smarts there to know after he hauls it in with the left hand to get the control and then look ahead and know where he's going. As we've got DJ Irons, shotgun formation back to his left, 3 receivers to his left as well. Fakes the handoff. And I'm thinking we're going to see a face mask call on that one as we had a Pirate defender come in there, leap towards Irons. Might have stuck the hand out and gotten a finger into the face mask.
I think it's going to be on 60, Nicholas Bailey, a defensive lineman, 6'6", 260-pound sophomore out of Kansas City. I think that's who they're going to get on the face mask here, but we'll see.
And we've got a Pirate down on the field right now. Number 5, DeAndre Butler. We're hoping that he's all right on the field out there.
Yeah, and, if he goes out of this game, it's a big loss for them because he's had a game where he's been in the backfield quite a bit so far in the first half.
I'm going to say we've called out his names more than a few times here throughout the first half.
The PA announcer here, as we said, kind of getting excited about that first down call. And, I'm not going to act like a hypocrite here, Dan Johnson. I'm one that we both know, and some of the folks listening will know that I get a little excited at times too. So I like the enthusiasm there. It just kind of shocked me out of nowhere.
Always a great
reaction.
Keeps the fans awake here in Dodger Stadium. Keeps them on their toes.
The Triton offense is going to have to get going, though, because at some point, you can't put all the pressure on your defense here. You've got to do something here offensively, sustain a drive, get your defense off the field for a while here, and try to put some points on the board because Independence, we've seen their offense, be pretty effective here. So you're going to have to answer the bell. If you don't answer the bell here, and let's say Independence scores again, goes up 3 scores, then you're putting yourself in a situation where it's that much harder, especially against a team who runs the ball like Independence because they're going to chew the clock up with their possessions.
Great sight to see there, DeAndre Butler back on his feet, walking himself off the field, hoping that young man is doing all right. And we're going to see Tritons coming back out onto the field on the Independence Community College 44-yard line. DJ Irons, shotgun formation. A back to his left, a receiver to his right, and 3 receivers out to his left side. Irons takes a snap. Looking to find somebody, getting some pressure, able to break through that tackle. He decides to keep it himself as he goes up the middle. Might have gotten a yard. At least got back to the line of scrimmage on that one. So it'll be 2nd down now. They'll leave it in the same spot for 2nd and 10.
That's a good job by DJ. Pure athleticism, good read, because if not, he gets sacked for about a 6-yard loss as Jaquan Treadwell came in out of that safety spot untouched there into the backfield.
So as you said, after Irons has the smarts to get back to the line of scrimmage, we'll see 2nd and 10 with Irons set up a back to his left, 2 receivers to his right. Looking to pass on this one. And he's going to be brought down in about the same spot, maybe a yard loss there. So it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Iowa Central Tritons, 8:30 and ticking here in the second quarter.
Nadami Tucker, 96, in there to make the sack. He's a 6'2 defensive lineman, 240-pound freshman out of Teaneck, North Dakota, making the sack there.
So after Irons isn't able to recover and get back up, they'll be at midfield, the Tritons will, trying to make something happen on this 3rd and 16 situation. DJ Irons alone in the backfield, shotgun formation. 3 receivers, it looks out to his right, and then 2 to his left as he takes the snap, looking to connect with somebody. He's able to get it over the middle to one of his receivers. Number 10, Terrell Carey of the Iowa Central Tritons. Carey will get to about the 40-yard line of the Independence Pirates. So not going to be good enough for that third down conversion, able to get some extra yards for the next play, whatever they decide to do, looking like we're going to have a Triton punt. So 4th and 6, 7 minutes, 30 seconds in the first half.
I know I sound like a broken record here, but it's that 3rd and long situation again. You know, you put yourself in a disadvantageous situation when you do that, and not able to then convert. Independence in a zone defense there, letting you catch it underneath and then making a tackle.
So that one a little bit higher of a punt. It'll be end over end. It'll take a Triton bounce and end up around the Tritons' 19-yard line. So about the same spot they would have been in if they had a touchback situation on their hands. About 7:06 left in the first half. Independence Pirates up 14-0 against the Tritons.
And here we go again for Iowa Central's defense back on the field here. They've played pretty well. You know, the Independence has had a couple of drives, but you got to expect a team like Independence to string together some drives from time to time. It's the offense today for Iowa Central just cannot get going here in the first half.
So we'll see if the Pirates decide to stick with their strong run game here. That's gotten them into the end zone a couple of times. And they're going to keep it on that ground for that first rush coming from number 5, Shamari Jones of the Independence Pirates.
That running back group for Independence is like a law firm. You got the law firm of Ellison, Jones, and Dollar. And they're representing here today in the first half.
You brought up earlier, we've been able to see the kind of dexterity that they have in the backfield, the Independence Pirates do. As we've got quarterback Brown in the backfield, sending it out to the right side, able to connect with a receiver. Looking like it's number 16 of the Independence Pirates there.
Willie Brantley. Brantley's a 5'10", 195-pound redshirt freshman out of Conway, South Carolina, out of Conway High School down there in Conway, South Carolina, my home state, and a place I know quite a bit about down there on the coast.
And after they measure up with the chains there, they decide that's a first down for the Independence Pirates as they're set up from their own 30-yard line. Brown, pistol formation, a back behind him and to his left, a receiver to his right, a few out to his left, able to complete that one to Dell. Dell going to get close to the 40-yard line. Should be awful close to a first down conversion.
See where they spot it. They're going to spot it a little short.
So they'll call it 2nd and short, about 2nd and 2 for the Independence Pirates from close to their own 40-yard line. They'll put it on the Independence 38-yard line, just over 6 minutes to go in this first half. As Brown is set up in shotgun formation back to his right. 3 receivers to his right and 1 out to his left. Fakes the handoff, and he's going to keep it himself around the left sideline. And what looked like might have been close to a breakaway run, he gets called out. Might have stepped out on that left sideline there. Looked close to around midfield. We'll see where they put it for sure.
And kind of a break for the Tritons because he only had one man to beat. The one man was Jerron Barber, who's given up about 6 inches of height and about 50 pounds. And I could see that Brown was fixing to lower the shoulder and to take the contact head on there.
So the Pirates going to take the snap from about their own 47-yard line. Brown gets in trouble in the backfield, and he's going to be sacked.
Schoenfelter in there, Rocky, number 43 in there making the play, 25, Malik Adams in there, and Daquan Cross in there to make the play for the Iowa Central defense.
So after the sack, the Pirates going to be setting up from their own 41-yard line, 2nd and long, 16 to be exact. 5 minutes to go in this first half. Brown, shotgun formation, back to his left. 3 receivers to his right and 1 to his left, able to connect with the receiver on the right side, number 17 of Indy, Raekwon Heath. And Heath is going to get the Pirates set up into Triton territory after that connection from Brown on the Triton 46-yard line.
Raekwon Heath, a young man, a 6'1", 190-pound sophomore receiver out of AC Flora High School, Columbia, South Carolina. So a few South Carolina guys sprinkled in with the state of Florida All-Stars here for Independence.
Brown fires out to the left side, just about able to connect with the receiver, a little bit low. Looked to be intended for number 9 of the Independence Pirates, Isaac Beverly. But just a little low for Beverly. Tried to scoop it up. Beverly couldn't quite get his hands under it, so it'll be
they're going to leave the
4th
offense
and
on
3.
the field here.
I believe this is the first time we've seen an attempt for a 4th down conversion today. Going to be coming from the Pirates. A little bit of a gamble. They've got that 14-point lead right now.
As good as their defense is playing, you feel okay, though, at this position on the field. And they're going to get a timeout here, I think, and talk things over.
So we're going to get a timeout, and we'll see if the Pirates decide to try and go for the punt or go for the 4th down conversion. We'll take a quick break and then be right back to evaluate that here on the Triton Nation Network. And we're back here on the Triton Nation Network. 4:29 left in the first half. And before we went to the break, we had a timeout. Looks like Independence kind of reevaluated, but still staying with the same plan. The keeper by Stephon Brown. Brown able to get that conversion. Only needed 3 yards, but he's able to get a few extra and that 1st down conversion.
You don't have to be a football expert to know what was coming there on that 4th down attempt. They were going to keep it with Stephon Brown, let their bell cow, if you will, trying to get him the 1st down, and he does.
Seen a couple of rushing touchdowns from Brown, and then Brown able to pick up that 1st down after the 4th and 3 situation. Brown takes the snap, quick pass out to the right side to Dell.
Swing pass complete to Dell.
And Dell goes out around the 35-yard line of the Tritons. And the Pirates will be set up on the Triton 34-yard line. It will be 2nd and 4 for the Pirates. 4 minutes and ticking in the 2nd quarter.
It's a big possession here for the Triton defense as we get close to halftime here.
Tritons are definitely going to want to try and get a stop, number 1, to prevent that score, and number 2, to give themselves as much time as possible to try and get themselves on the board before the 2nd half. As Brown gets a couple of yards on that run, it looks like he'll be placed at the 31-yard line of the Tritons. They'll put it 1 back on the 32 of the Tritons.
It'll be a 3rd and a short 2.
It'll be 32.
At the 32, need the 30 for the 1st down. Big 3rd down play here.
Brown in pistol formation, a back behind him, a receiver to his right and 2 to his left. Brown hands it off. Number 5, Shermari Jones of the Independence Pirates. And Jones is able to pick up that 1st down conversion, get past that 30-yard line mark that they needed. It'll be placed on the Triton 28-yard line for Independence. It'll be set up with that fresh 1st and 10. Just about 3 minutes to go in the 1st half.
Number 20, Brant Casey with the tackle for Iowa Central. Good to see Casey back in the lineup after the injury there, and he looks pretty good moving around here today.
Brown shotgun formation, back to his left, receiver to his left, and 3 out to his right. Brown decides to keep it himself after he gets kind of an opening there and gets tripped up, tumbles within the 20-yard line, so they'll be in the red zone once again for the 3rd time today. The Independence Pirates looking more accurately to be on the 17-yard line of the Tritons. Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10.
Clock ticking at about 2.5 before the halftime break here, so it's a critical possession here.
Brown shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to his right and 1 to his left, fires out quickly to Dell to the right side. Dell just about brought down, but he's going to stay on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, going to be within the 5-yard line with 2 minutes, 15 seconds to work with.
And now it's going to be 1st and goal And anytime they get in a first and goal situation, Independence is so dangerous, so hard to stop because they're so big up front, and then you add in a running quarterback who's 6'5" and 225 pounds, and you've got a recipe for a headache, nightmare for the defensive coordinator.
I was just going to say, so far for the 2 touchdowns, we've seen quarterback keepers by Stephon Brown. This time they go ahead and hand it off to Shamari Jones. And Jones going to get the 3rd score of the day for the Independence Pirates. Score currently 20-0 over the Tritons for the Pirates. We'll see. So far we've seen all the point after attempts being extra point kicks so far by the Independence Pirates. Looking like we're not going to see a change up from then as we have a minute 59.
It wouldn't be a lot of reason to go for 2 here, so they're going to send out Brian Pennell out to attempt the extra point.
Right, as he's been 2 for 2 so far today. No point to try and chance a 2-point conversion as we see this one. Going through the uprights as well, making the score Independence Pirates 21, Iowa Central Tritons 0. We've got just under 2 minutes to go. We'll be right back with the rest of your first half action here at Dodger Stadium on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network in the game between the Iowa Central Tritons and the Independence Pirates. Tritons with the kick return there around the 20-yard line, getting just past their own 20-yard line, the Tritons do. Got a minute 54 left in the first half. Score Independence Pirates 21, Tritons 0. That kickoff there just after the Shamari Jones touchdown. The first 2 touchdowns we'd seen for the Pirates from quarterback Stephon Brown. So they go ahead, switch it up, try and throw the Tritons off a little bit, stay away from the quarterback keeper after the handoff to Shamari Jones.
All 3 touchdowns on the ground, though, for Independence. Been ground and pound football here.
As we said coming into the game, the Pirates a little bit more of a rushing team than the Pirates. Maybe a little bit of an understatement saying a little bit more of a rushing team. But as we see the handoff there to the Iowa Central Tritons, looked like we had Kurt Taylor on the carry there for the Tritons.
Yeah, have not been able to establish Kurt Taylor on the ground here today. We'll see if they're able to do that as time goes on. Now, interesting here whether they'll play it close to the vest, be conservative, try to keep it on the ground and go in the halftime locker room, or if they'll try to open up the playbook here. You know, hard to tell at this point what they're going to want to do, what the mindset is. 2nd and 7 for the Tritons, as we said. Still trying to get themselves up on the board. We'll see if they try to do so here with a minute 13 to go. As Irons passes out to the right side to Jatovier Hill. Hill looked like he picked up the first down conversion around maybe the 33, 34-yard line of the Tritons.
First down!
And that'll be, if you could hear it through the headsets, good enough for another Triton first down.
They have been kind of few and far between today, so I do understand the excitement.
Getting the excitement on those. Irons takes the snap. Handoff again there. See if it was to Taylor again on that one as they get around the 35-yard line of the Tritons themselves.
Now the Hill on a carry.
Jatovia Hill in there at running back now for the Tritons.
As we've got Hill lined up once again to the right of Irons. A couple receivers to his left and a couple out to his right as well. Takes the snap, looking to find a receiver, fires it along the right sideline, and he is able to connect there to number 10 of the Iowa Central Tritons, Terrell Carey, able to get the Triton first down there. 20.2 seconds left in the first half. We'll see what Iowa Central can do with it. Pirates currently up 21-0 against the Tritons. And we will be right back with the rest of this first half after a 30-second timeout right here on the Triton Nation Network. And we're back, just over 20 seconds left in this first half. The game between the Iowa Central Tritons and the Independence Pirates. Pirates up 21-0 against the Tritons as DJ Irons, quarterback for the Tritons, gets a little bit of pressure trying to get away.
Irons going to be
He'll be around midfield again. We'll see if he had a loss of maybe a yard or two.
See if the Tritons take a timeout to try to, they will. They're going to take a timeout and try to take a shot down the field. Hail Mary here.
We do get that timeout as we've got just about 2.5 seconds left. We'll stick with you here on the Triton Nation Network. Here, Stuff the Stadium in Dodger Stadium. Some giveaways, it sounds like, here for some potential students. Kind of a nice thing for them to get in to a free game for the Tritons after they get a tour of campus of Iowa Central.
Senior High, Austin Jorgensen.
And of course we've got, halftime in just a couple of seconds coming up. And Dan, what do we have for halftime here?
Well, we'll be going over what we saw in the first half here from the Tritons and the Independence Pirates, but we'll also give you some information from what we've been seeing for some other college games around the nation.
Fill you in on some scores going on around the country and things of that nature here on the Triton Nation Network. I tell you, Dan, as we progress through the game, starting to get a little more of a chill in the air here at Dodger Stadium.
That is a good point. You can really feel it when that breeze comes through. And a big thing I feel like going into halftime is if you're still feeling that cold, staying loose. Making sure that the muscles don't get too tight. You're not wanting any injuries, just getting some guys back.
And then the direction of the wind in the second half also is going to be a factor here.
So just over 2.5 minutes. DJ Irons taking the snap. We've got 3 guys running along the right sideline. We'll see if Irons can find somebody. And it looks like he's going to keep it himself. Just go ahead and head out of that left sideline. We see a flag, but not really going to play too much. We see some players getting into it along that sideline as we've got DJ Irons.
DJ was hit late there, and he didn't like it, and he had some words for the Independent sideline. Now, word to the wise here is you're in no man's land when you're over on the other team's sideline there, so you got to be careful. But I know DJ there because I've seen this throughout the year with him getting hit kind of late and things, and it has kind of bothered him. There's been a couple of times earlier in the year where he was hit late, there was no flag on it, and it's something that he feels like, look, I'm supposed to be protected, and there they do throw the flag. Now, what will be interesting is the half cannot end on a defensive penalty. So now the Tritons going to have another chance thanks to that defensive penalty. Can they make the most of it?
And the big thing is we saw a little bit of an altercation on the sideline. Big thing is if you're the Independence Pirates, you're up 21-0 right now. They might be trying to kind of rile you up, the Tritons will, to see if they can get a reaction out of it and get some extra yards.
And that's possible, too, which I don't think that's what DJ was doing. I think he was just taking exception to being hit out of bounds and hit late. But, yeah, with Independence, you got to be a little bit smarter than that when you're playing with the lead in that situation.
So we'll see what we get for the call from the officials on this one, see if we get a personal foul call.
On the play. Unnecessary roughness, number 50, defense.
So we get that unnecessary roughness call.
Unnecessary roughness, number 3, offense. Those penalties offset halftime.
So we'll have a penalty there against DJ Irons and then against the Independence Pirates. So those 2 penalties will offset each other. And that's going to send us into halftime with the Independence Pirates up 21-0 against the Iowa Central Tritons. We'll take a minute break here, and then we'll be right back with some halftime recap right here on the Triton Nation Network.
career. SMU still undefeated. They win on Thursday night against Houston 34-31. Of course, today, Ohio State in the Big Ten, no trouble with Wisconsin. The Badgers fall for the second time in a row, and Ohio State, we kind of wondered what they would look like exactly against the Badgers, because Ohio State's just been wrecking people all year,
right.
You know, and they do it again today, 31-point victory against Wisconsin. The Iowa Hawkeyes a winner on the road against Northwestern, 20-0. 2 in a row for the Hawkeyes there, as they have kind of got off the losing skid they were on, where they lost 2 in a row to Michigan and Penn State. Now they've won 2 in a row against Purdue and Northwestern, and they shut out Northwestern on the road. Appalachian State, they remain undefeated. They're in the top 25 and unbeaten on the year. They knocked down South Alabama 30-3 today at Ladd People Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Dan Johnson, Ladd People Stadium is one of the more storied venues in the South for football, one of the oldest and most storied, and it's home to the Senior Bowl. And while it's storied and it has all this tradition, it has not been renovated since those stories first happened. And so it's a dilapidated stadium, to say the least, but a one that has a lot of history. Oklahoma is trailing right now, upset alert in the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas. Kansas State up on Oklahoma 48-38, 4.5 to play. So we'll see. Will a top 5 team go down? That could happen. Jalen Hurts at quarterback going to have to engineer something here in the last 4 minutes for Oklahoma. Coming up later, of course, Maryland at Minnesota. Minnesota's undefeated. Talk about a little bit of a surprise. P.J. Fleck and the coach there doing a tremendous job in a kind of a reclamation project at Minnesota, and has done a tremendous job of getting that program where it is right now in a short amount of time. Auburn and LSU on the Bayou in Baton Rouge, a 2:30 kickoff. Auburn is on the road taking on LSU. LSU still undefeated, and we'll see if they can hold serve at home. I think, quite honestly, they're probably the best team in the country thus far, LSU, at least what they've done to this point. Auburn, a good football team, we'll see on that. The Iowa State Cyclones are at home. Jack Trice, a 2:30 kick, taking on Oklahoma State. Michigan State in the 2:30 slate. Texas TCU. Arkansas is at Bama at 6 o'clock. Storyline in that one for Bama quarterback Tua will not play tonight. He's out. Sprained his ankle last week. They're going to keep him out as a precaution. Quite honestly, Dan Johnson, you could play quarterback for Alabama against Arkansas and win this game. And that's not a slight on your athletic ability. No, I could play quarterback, I think, and beat Arkansas, because all you're going to really have to do is hand it off tonight, I think, to beat Arkansas for Alabama there. Boston College at Clemson, 6:30 on the kickoff tonight as well. And then kind of the marquee national game, Notre Dame at Michigan on a primetime 6:30 kickoff. Of course, all these times for Central Time there, so that's what you got going on in college football.
All right, well, just to recap really quick, we've currently in halftime about 9.5 minutes left. The Pirates currently up against the Tritons 21-0. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll be back with some more JUCO college football action right here on the Triton Nation Network. Welcome back. We're here on the Triton Nation Network, just past the 30-second mark left in halftime before we head into this third quarter. The Independence Pirates, Independence Community College up 21-0 against the Iowa Central Community College Tritons, as we've seen the Pirates very dominant in the rushing game. All three of their touchdowns on the ground. They have
been. They've been dominant on the ground here, and defensively they played very well as well. Their defense has been stifling. It's pretty much been all Pirates all the time here in the first half. Now, the question is for Iowa Central, Coach Montalto and his guys, how do they respond here in the second half? You want to see some sort of sparks of life here from them and signs of life and kind of just some competitive fire here to see if they're able to make some plays and get back in this game.
As we said, the Pirates very dominant in the rushing game, so the big thing for that defense is going to be to stifle the rush.
Yeah, going to have to stop the run, maybe commit some extra guys to the box to do that.
Will be kicking off for the Tritons.
And maybe one of the harder things to defend against the rushing game is because of the difference between their rushers that they have. They've got about 4 or 5 different guys who can do whatever they want on the ground and have their different types of rushes, as we see that kick to about the 30-yard line. Might be a little bit of interference from the wind here that we've been seeing.
Yeah, it looked like it pushed it out of bounds there. So that's going to be a penalty. Good field position for Independence there. You kind of talked about, the versatility and the depth at running back for Independence, but also their quarterback, Stephon Brown, too. It's harder to commit extra guys to the box when you've got guys who can get to the outside, because if you put 8 guys in the box and a guy then breaks one to the outside, then it's isolation one-on-one on the outside, so you're giving up big plays, right? So that's something that they'll have to think about, too, kind of a pick-your-poison approach defensively.
So after the penalty is assessed, the Pirates will take over from their own 35-yard line after it gets moved up. As we set the ball looking like it might have gotten pushed out of bounds a little bit. Pirate quarterback Stephon Brown in shotgun formation, a back to his right, receiver to his right, and 2 out to his left. He's looking to pass, dumps this one off. Intended for number 88 of the Independence Pirates team, looking to be Quentin Moore.
And we saw the wind, looked like maybe the wind got a hold of that one a little bit too. So the wind's kind of playing tricks here and playing dividends, being a factor here, the elements here on a kind of a blustery, windy day here.
And we've got Brown pistol formation and back behind him and to his left as he gets that pass off to Dell. Dell around the 35-yard line still. Might have gotten a yard on that one, so it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Independence Pirates.
And that could be big. Nathaniel Dale comes out of the game under his own power here, and he's checking maybe a twisted ankle here, so that could be a big loss for Independence if he's not able to get back in the ball game.
A lot of passes been tossed out there to Dell for the Pirates. So
he
now
is their leading receiver on the season.
We've got Brown, shotgun formation back to his right. A couple receivers out to his right and 1 out to his left. Brown slings it out to the right side, intended for number 16 of Indy, Willie Brantley of the Pirates. A little outside of his reach, so that's going to stop the clock at 14-12 left in the third quarter. Pirates going to come out to punt. They've got a 4th and 9. Might be a little slower getting out here in the third quarter after they had a little bit of stoppage of movement. The colder weather, as we said, the elements out here getting a little tense, tightened up, having to get loose again here in this second half.
Yeah, it's very possible that happens, something that you have to figure in this kind of weather and this kind of situation.
Rashad Whitty back to return the punt for the Iowa Central Tritons. Actually a fake. And going to go along the left sideline into Triton territory around the 35. That, again, was number 88, Quentin Moore. Looked like for the Independence Pirates.
Quentin Moore, he's a jumbo athlete, 6'5", 250, a tight end, freshman. Kenmore, Washington's where he calls home, and you see the athleticism there. They've got some big guys on this Independence team, guys who are, not only have that kind of size, but can break it to the outside, and pretty aggressive fake call there in their own territory, but a big gain.
I was going to say, we talked about in the first half how some of these guys look like more of the bigger D1 athletes, and more definitely looking like one of those guys. As we see the handoff there by the Pirates along the right sideline, breaking a couple of tackles. Looked like he got within the 20-yard line, number seven. It looked like Dollard on that carry for the Pirates.
Dollar was money on the carry there, Dan Johnson. Nice change of direction there, a little what we'd call down south, a little stop and go there. In and out, stop and go, and gets himself into the red zone now.
Yeah, as you said, the Pirates going to be in the red zone on the Triton 19-yard line. Brown, shotgun formation, back to his right. Two receivers on the left, one to his right. Brown looked like he might have let go and jumbled the ball a little bit, but he was able to haul it back in and get maybe a yard, at least back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a little miscommunication on the zone read there, the option.
So they'll call that a gain of a couple of yards, ball on the 17-yard line. 2nd and 8 for the Independence Pirates just under 13 minutes to go in the third quarter. Brown, shotgun formation, back to his left, and 3 receivers out to his left as well. No receivers out to his right. Looking to pass this time.
Picked off.
And it's going to be intercepted, as you said, by the Iowa Central Tritons, number 16 of the Tritons, running down the right sideline, catching some blocks. A couple of Pirates run into each other. He's going to beat all the defenders. And he's got one guy catching up to him. He goes down at around the 10-yard line. That's going to be number 16 for the Iowa Central Tritons, Stanley Cross.
Stand-the-man Cross picks it off and almost took it all the way back. 83 yards for a reservation for 6, but he slips down here. Going to put the Tritons in good position. Cross, of course, a defensive back, a freshman, 5'11", 170-pounder out of Nashville, Tennessee, Music City there. And he's trying to write some music here, get the Tritons going here. And they've got an opportunity, Dan Johnson, best opportunity of the day. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Brown looked like he just kind of placed that one awkwardly between a couple of Pirates, as we've got Irons setting up shotgun formation, back to his left, 3 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. It's going to be on the left side of the end zone. Tritons able to find themselves in the end zone for the first time today. It looked like that one was sent to number 2, Tenarius Aiken. And Aiken is able to get that one hauled in the end zone. The Tritons with their first touchdown of the game, 6-21. The Tritons up against the Pirates.
Does a good job of DJ there on that throw. That's not an easy throw either, especially into the wind like that. To throw that ball in the corner, he put that one on a rope, and Aiken able to reel it in for the touchdown.
So the Tritons put this one up, and it's through the uprights. So the Iowa Central Tritons strike first and early here in the third quarter. 12:24 left in the third quarter. The Independence Pirates up 21-7 against the Iowa Central Tritons. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll be right back here with some more action on the Triton Nation Network. And we're back here on the Triton Nation Network after the score by the Tritons. 12:24 left in the third quarter. Score, Iowa Central Tritons 7, Independence Pirates 21, as the Pirates on the return run out of bounds around the 30-yard line. We've got Coach Schwait here, athletic director for the Iowa Central Tritons, joining the broadcast. Coach Schwait, how you doing?
Right after the 31-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10 for Independence.
Yeah, they're coming into this second half, getting some momentum going into it. Tell us a little bit about maybe some of the stuff we can't see from them on the field, some of the character from these Iowa Central Tritons.
Yeah.
Jones on the carry, going to be brought down by Dion Wall. will give. The Pavers have second and 10.
Shamari Jones was on that carry there for the Iowa Central Tritons. Or excuse me, for the Independence Pirates. The Pirates Brown pistol formation and back behind him. Hands it off that time again to Shamari Jones. Jones going to end up around the 35-yard line of the Pirates. It'll be third down and about 6.
Jones on the carry. Stop made by Daquan Cross.
Feels like the whole game is different. It feels like, I mean, the fans are into it, the band's into it, the team's bouncing around, the body language is different. It just is.
The intensity is back in the game, the momentum now.
Brown around the right side, keeps it himself.
Down on the carry, he's going to draw it for no gain.
Spot around that 35-yard line once again for the
Stop made by Romero Gray.
Romello Gray with a big play defensively there. Brant Casey also there. We talked about Brant Casey coming back from injury. He's been out, and he's a big addition when he's back in the lineup there, and you see him able to get out there.
Tough-nosed physical kid, and they faked it on us last time for a big play, and I think they'll punt it away this time. But I'm telling you what, the Tritons are riled up right now, and I wouldn't count us out of this thing.
I was going to say it'd be a big game, especially with the stuff the stadium here today. Got some maybe potential future Tritons and maybe some who might even find themselves on the field one day getting some motivation to come out.
You're darn right. Look at Rashad Whitty coming down this side. Holy buckets. It's about a 25-yard return. And we got a little bounce in our step, boys. My college football coach always told us, give a dying dog a breath of air, he'll bite you till you bleed. And they gave us a breath of air by throwing that interception, and I wouldn't count us out.
Yeah, Rashad with a big-time return. And, I was telling some people the other day about Rashad. I think Rashad's a young man that's probably going to go on Coach's way to the Division I level. I could see him being a guy who could figure in at a mid-major type of school around the MAC or something like that.
Illegal procedure, kicking team
from the day one that
never became set before the snap. That 5-yard penalty was
a tremendous leader for a football team. Just does things right on and off the field. Does a great job in the classroom. And like you said, he could play a slot receiver, return punts and kicks, and end up like you said, in the MAC conference, or maybe down like Louisiana Lafayette and some of those down in that Sunbelt, and just have a fine career and get his education paid for. This will be a very interesting drive, because if we can score on this baby, I tell you what, look out.
Yep, it all kind of changes at that point.
We've got some momentum, as Coach Wade said after that last score. DJ Irons takes the snap and hands it off. Taylor going to get into Pirate territory around the 45-yard line of the Pirates.
Now he's slow to get up there. He's going to hobble a little bit here. We'll see if he can.
9 on the play.
We hadn't been able to get back to the line of scrimmage on a dive play, and we just got 9 yards. I mean, you talk about, everybody's jacked up, juiced up. It's unbelievable. This game hinges on so much emotion, but we've got it on our side. Hope we can just keep it.
Just under 10 minutes here in the third quarter. DJ Irons, shotgun formation, takes the snap, hands it off once again to Kurt Taylor.
Taylor's going to be brought down to the backfield for loss of one.
Around the line of scrimmage, might have lost a yard on that one.
And, Coach, I don't know about you, but I like the emphasis on trying to get Kurt Taylor going here in the second half after he was kind of quiet in the first half.
No question. I think we can't be one-dimensional. The strength of our team is being able to both run it and throw it, and a great call by Coach Montalvo to go feed that horse and let him run.
Now DJ Irons set up all alone in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers out to his right and 3 out to his left. Irons with 10 on the play clock, takes the snap, looks out to the right side to connect with a receiver, and it's going to be a little out of reach of receiver number 2, Tanarius
Pass intended for.
That's a tough matchup. A tough throw on the fade route there to the outside. Tanarius Aiken giving up a lot of size to the man covering him, number 7 there, Striker, who we talked about is, he's a big, rangy corner, and that's a tough matchup, Coach.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed with the length of their team. Yes. I mean, you look at the length of their corners, safeties, linebackers, the leverage they've got. It's hard to shake loose from those guys, and throwing those fade routes when you're giving up 4 or 5 inches is very tough duty. You're exactly right, Rob.
And when these guys get off the bus, a team like Independence, they look like a Division I football team.
There's no question about it. They certainly do.
Pirates with Denzel Houston back to receive this one. Another long end-over-end punt. Going to end up going out of bounds.
On the 9-yard line where we first and 10 for Independence.
One of the highlights today for Iowa Central's been the punting game. It's been tremendous. 40-plus yards, pretty much every attempt for Jacob Tolam, and they've done a good job of covering that as well. So you flip the field now, and we'll see if the Tritons can get a 3 and out.
Pretty cool to see Jacob have a great game. His father's the head football coach at Ridgeview High School just down the road in Holstein, Iowa. About an hour and 15 minutes on Highway 20, and known his father Dale for a long time, and fun to see him have so much success punting them deep today.
Well, football is like broadcasting a small world. Dan Johnson was actually just in Ridgeview a couple of weeks ago down there. So
got Stephon Brown taking a snap, a handoff there. Going to end up around the line of scrimmage once again.
Linebackers doing a much better job, it appears, early in the second half, stepping up and filling the gaps. It just seemed like we were hesitant. It looked to me like both teams were in a lot different speeds first half. They were full speed and looked like we were in a daze, going three-quarter game. Boy, this second half's a whole different deal, though.
Well, and I also think that at this point we're playing downhill from a linebacker standpoint. We've kind of said, okay, they're going to run the ball. They're going to have to beat us throwing it here.
Brown, if he keeps it,
takes the handoff, keeps it himself. We've seen that
about 3 on the play.
Plethora of times so far today.
That's that power read play. They'll pull their backside guard. They'll read the defense, won't block the DN. If the DN closes, they hand the ball to the tailback, and he'll go around the end. The DN feathers for the tailback. It's a quarterback power up off tackle, and they've used it very successfully today. It's a tough play to defend.
And when you got a guy like Brown, 6'5", 225, and athletic too, it makes it that much tougher.
There's no doubt about that. He can really scoot for a big man.
We've got Independence on the 3rd and 5. Brown keeps it again.
Fumble on the play.
Fumble. We see it pop up a couple of times. The Tritons come up with it, and they'll come out to around the 25-yard line. They're within the 25 of Independence.
I tell you what a huge turnover that was. I mean, quarterback did a wonderful job. We had great pressure, scrambled right up the middle, has the first down, fails to secure the ball, pops out, and lo and behold, we're down by 2 touchdowns. We have the ball 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line.
Yeah, got to capitalize here. You capitalize here, and then all the momentum, not only, but all the pressure goes to Independence.
This is the last call for 50-50 raffle tickets. If you haven't got
this is a huge drive for us right here.
Down at the southwest gate.
In some great field position. They've got the ball
on the end of the 3rd quarter. Your chance to win half the pot today.
After the fumble recovery, DJ Irons looking to be set up in shotgun formation back to his left, and 3 receivers out to his left as well.
Got that trips bunch formation to the far left. We'll see if they work something out of that.
DJ Irons, 20 seconds on the play clock, plenty of time to work with here. Takes a snap, hands it off there to Taylor. Taylor going to go around the right side. He's going to go around the line of scrimmage.
Not much doing there by Taylor. I like the play. I mean, 23, he's been a heck of a running back all year long for us, and let's feed him the ball a few more times, see if we can break one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, you're going to have your times where you're not successful, especially against a good defense like Independence. And DeAndre Butler making the play. He's back in after leaving early, so that's a big boost for them defensively.
Irons trips out to his left, and Taylor to his right once again. Looking to launch this one out.
Oh,
he's in tosses up his right hand, and he's able to pull that one in.
The Tritons first down.
Rashad Whitty just stole victory from the hands of defeat because that ball was way behind him, and it was throwing 100 miles an hour. He reached up with one paw, secured that thing, and came down and all the way to the ground. Unbelievable catch by Rashad.
And we saw earlier on when he was along the right sideline as well in the first quarter, kind of caught it in the breadbasket with his left hand and then secured it before he went out of bounds.
No.
Yeah, Sports Center, we'll see that. Unbelievable play. What a highlight thing for him on that.
And need to send that one in tonight. Somebody in the video department send that one in.
So now on the 2-yard line of Independence, we see DJ Irons.
Irons going to be brought down for a loss.
Brought down around the 4 or 5 yard line of Independence, so might have lost a couple yards on
Tyrese Knight with a tackle for loss.
We faked the ball going weak side to the running back, and we had 2 blockers leading the hole. And goodness, one block left, one block right, and the guy right in front of him, they both passed him up. Too bad, because otherwise DJ would have walked into the end zone.
And I don't know that you're going to be able to line up and go straight at them. I think maybe some misdirection type of deal here in the short yardage situation.
Good call, Rob. They go 342, 325 inside. They're loaded in there to move.
Yep, they really are.
So 5:50 left in the third quarter here. DJ Irons sends a man in motion from the right to the left. Fires it out to the left side. And he's going to find a receiver. Darius Aiken. And Aiken
There's Aiken with the catch.
into the end zone for the second Iowa Central touchdown of the day, trying to get some motivation. Coming into the second half, they scored 2 touchdowns here.
You can't call it a pick play because I guess that's illegal, but you call that a big rub play, right? He comes in motion, 2 guys run slants, you rub right off, and any more picks are illegal, but rubs are good, huh?
Yeah, it's true. Hey, you remember the Clemson Tigers won the national championship on a rub play, so if it's good enough for them, it'll work up here too.
I think Coach Saban still thinks that was a pick.
Good. All right,
The Titans send that extra point to 21-14. This second half coming back. Score currently Independence Pirates 21 and the Iowa Central Tritons 14. We're going to go ahead, take a quick break, and then we'll be right back here with some more action on the Triton Nation Network. And we're back here on the Triton Nation Network. Just saw a touchdown pass there, making the score Independence Pirates 21, Tritons 14 after the play from DJ Irons to find Tenarius Aiken in the left side of the end zone. 5:44 left in the third quarter here as the Tritons send it back. A nice kick to about the 2-yard line of Independence.
Reggie Williams on the return.
Williams going to bring it back. Gets to about the 30-yard line.
Takes out to the 32-yard line with the first to 10 Independence.
Good coverage job by Iowa Central there. Kenny Edwards in there making the play, number 30, the linebacker out of Grayson.
Special teams tackle made by E.J. Brown.
Field tackle, good job by Kenny there.
You know, so many of these guys that are backups and safeties, corners, linebackers cover those special teams and give their bodies up, do a marvelous job, and kind of save some wear and tear on your starters. And that was a great play by Kenny.
So Brown, shotgun formation back. Lineman to his right, 3 receivers out to his right and 1 to his left.
3 passes complete to Brown.
Out to the right side. Looks like we've actually got Craig Wells in now as quarterback for the Independence Pirates instead of Brown.
Now, I'm a little surprised by that. I don't know if maybe Brown took a shot that we don't know about there and came out of the game, or what exactly the kind of call here is on the change. But Craig Wells, a 5'11", 200-pound sophomore out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Looks like Brown might be stretching himself out. We see him on the bench down there in front of us as we've got Wells in back to his right. 3 receivers to his right and 1 to his left.
Inside handoff.
To the 50-yard line, he's going to get around the 40 of the Iowa Central.
Right down inside Triton.
So from 38 over to the Iowa Central 40-yard line.
That's a big play for Independence. It looked to me like they were a little shell-shocked, but that was just a outside zone play, and then they got a body on a body, hat on a hat, and got up to the linebacker level with their guard, and really we didn't have a chance to broke free to the safety, and they've got some guys that can flat go, and that was a big play for them, unfortunately for us.
To me, Dollard has been kind of the guy who's been kind of the home run hitter out of that running back spot here today.
Wells takes a snap, but we see stoppage in play as a flag flies out.
Be a false start here.
False start. Number 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
The Pirates going to get moved back to a 1st and 15.
That goes against 88, Quentin Moore, the freshman tight end, 6'5", 245-pounder there.
Well, this is a big drive. If we can somehow, keep them out of the end zone here, and get the ball back to our offense after scoring the last 2 drives with our offense, boy, give ourselves a chance to tie this thing up. So this is a huge drive. 1st and 15. Let's play some defense here.
Wells takes the snap with a man behind him. He's going to pass it this time.
Pass is tipped.
That one was knocked down by number 98 of the Iowa Central defense, Nathan Proctor.
Proctor with a good job there getting his hands up. Coach, you always teach your defensive linemen, if you can't get the quarterback, get as tall as you can be. Get big.
Darn right, Nathan has long leverage. Nathan is a transfer from Virginia Tech University, actually.
Okay.
I always sing Inner Sandman to him when he comes. That's how they take the field at Va Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. They're 6'3", 240-pound sophomore defensive lineman.
Wells passes out to the left side. We'll see if they say that one's caught, and it looked like they
Hey, look, boys, we've got 3rd and 13 now. This is a huge play. If we get off the field here, make them punt, and our offense is feeling good about themselves, and give us a shot down 21-14 with the ball to go tie that thing.
I'm a little surprised, Coach, at the play calling for Indy on this drive. They've thrown it a little bit more than I expected.
To me, their strength is running that football with that big line, and I think it plays into our hands as they do throw it. Ooh, a draw play.
Inside handoff to Ellison.
He's going to go along that left sideline before he gets knocked out of bounds. Number 3, Morgan Ellison. We've seen Ellison.
Late penalty marker on the play.
Power runner, as we see it called. A little bit of an altercation.
Tremendous run by that young man. It looked like a sprint out pass right to the wide side of the field. Running back took a jab step right, like he was going to lead for the quarterback. Planted, came back, and they had a well-designed scheme blocking-wise to draw play back to the weak side into the boundary. And we had a guy there for about a 6-yard gain. Unfortunately, on that occasion, their guy was better than our guy. Beat him one-on-one.
Yeah, and good job by the receiver there to seal off the edge, too, on the block, I thought, to kind of free up Ellison. Now, the officials are going to talk. We're going to likely get a personal foul, maybe offsetting personal fouls here, but there's definitely going to be some of that, some extracurricular activity going on there after the play.
4 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Score, Iowa Central Tritons 14, Independence Pirates 21.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Both are dead ball. Unsportsmanlike foul. Number 27, defense. Unsportsmanlike foul. Number 3, offense. Those penalties offset and decline. 1st down.
That was E.J. Brown for the Tritons getting called for the personal foul, and then for Independence will be Morgan Ellison there, a little jaw jacking after the play there, Coach.
Yeah, you hate to see that. You guys are playing hard. I wish, play that darn thing with your arms and legs, your helmet, shoulder pads, your head and your heart, and then don't worry about the mouth running. And it seems like, some frustration set in on our defense and their young man, and just, in my opinion, takes away from the game. And hopefully get that straightened out here by both sides.
It's one of those things where emotions run high, and, sometimes you get lost in the moment a little bit.
So Wells set up with the rest of his offense. Shamari Jones in the backfield with him. Wells with the receiver.
That left guard's going to pull. You tell by his stance, 64, had all his weight back, and he pulled through that hole. And they got some playmakers, I tell you. We could have had him for 1 or 2 yard gain. He just outran the linebacker, actually.
And that's the thing they're so deep. We talked about this earlier.
9 on the play, brings up 2nd
4 guys that average over 35 yards rushing a game. When you've got that kind of depth, people think, you're one-dimensional. Well, no, there's layers within that one dimension, right?
And the different styles, and when you got that, you got a stable of them. It's good to have a stable.
Wells takes the snap and pistol, hands it off to a back with him.
Now on the carry.
Nice play.
Be enough for 1st down. Folks, if you could grab your 50-50 rapper tickets after the next play, we'll go ahead and read the winner.
String tackle in the open field. Otherwise, that may have been a reservation.
Today's winner will take home
That's exactly right. I heard you use that last night when Halligan intercepted that reservation for 6. I like that, Rob.
All the time.
That's good.
I brought that up.
Collect your money down at the table down by.
Speaking of bringing it up from the southeast, when we're at home here in 2 weeks, you may want to dress a little differently because I don't think it's going to be 56 and sunny.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go get a winter coat.
So Wells, pistol formation back behind him, a receiver on each side. He takes the snap, another handoff this time to Dollard. And Dollar going to be brought down at about the same spot, maybe a loss.
You know, Coach, speaking of 2 weeks at home, taking on Hutchinson, a team that's been in the top 5 all year, another quality opponent
injury timeout
each and every week.
When you play these, we play Iowa Western, we play these 8 Kansas schools. There's no days off. There's too many good athletes. Anybody can beat anybody. As an example, we go to Fort Scott next week. They're ranked 14th in the nation. Independence Day 17th. Hutchinson's number 3 right now. Eat a big breakfast and bite down hard on your mouthpiece and tighten your chin strap really, really tight. That's what you need to do.
Garden City, who's a ranked team, and going to be
Butler's in there
as well. Iowa Central was ranked. We talked earlier about and I've said several times that I think it's been a testament to you and the program here as well for you guys putting together what I think is one of the premier schedules in JUCO football in the country.
Thank you. We didn't have to go play snow. We did it to help them out, plus to challenge our guys. And we didn't have the off week like a lot of teams have to heal up, rest up. We said, nope, we're going to bring it on. And we lost a tough one out there, but I think they were ranked 9th last week in the country, actually. Who's playing well right now is Iowa Western. I mean, they had 3 losses in a row beginning with us here at home. We won the Kinney Cup. They lost a couple after that. They righted the ship after that. They were up 21-3 today against Fort Scott late in the second quarter. So they're playing very, very well. They beat this team 14-3, and I don't know how you hold these rascals to 3 points.
3 points, I know. You got to bring your lunch pail every week
exactly.
when you play the schedule that the Tritons play. And you talked about kind of having that relationship with the Jayhawk Conference out of Kansas there, and I've likened that, Coach, to the JUCO equivalent of the SEC.
You're exactly right. I mean, the Iowa schools, especially with us in Iowa Western, Ellsworth's coming on. They've had 3 coaches in 3 years. They're a little bit down. They'll get back up there. But you put us, Iowa Western, and those 8 Kansas community colleges on the field. There's 10 good teams. There's no days off. While we have a little break, just a quick shout out. Our volleyball team this coming Wednesday is going to play at home for the conference championship against Nyack. It's at 7 o'clock in Hodges Fieldhouse on our campus. And then our cross country team dominated men and women the regional yesterday, Friday, and we'll be favored to win both men and women for the national championship in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
We've got Wells out, taking a snap for the Pirate offense, a handoff there.
Jones on the sweep.
Of the Independence team, Shamari Jones.
Well, this is a big play now. 3rd down, if we can just force them to a field goal, fellas, that'd be a whole lot better than 7.
Line for a 1-yard loss brings up 3rd and 9.
Goal attempt earlier in the first half.
And they've had a little trouble with the kicking game too, and you'll be kicking against the wind, so no guaranteed that you make it, even if you do get that opportunity here.
3rd and 9, left hash mark. They're about the 14-yard line. We got to step up, make a big play here, and make him kick that field goal.
Wells is in shotgun with a back to his right and trips out to his right as well. Taking his time, takes the snap a little bit high, looking out to the right side. And
there's a second
by number 35, ball then
recovered by the Tritons.
That is Triton defender, number 35, Elijah Frecky.
I tell you what, was that a well-timed blitz? He did it from about 3.5 yards out. He let the defensive lineman crisscross in front, took the open hole, and he packed a punch. Ball shakes loose. We've got it. And, boy, she's 21-14, and our offense has the ball like we hoped. And we avoided disaster there when they were down inside our red zone.
And you talk about a guy making the most of his opportunity.
There's no foul on the play.
Elijah with his first career start a couple of weeks ago. And since then, he said, if you just give me one shot, you're not going to get me back out of the lineup. He's playing like a man possessed.
You're darn right. Don't make the mistake of ever getting hurt, because that rascal behind you, he might decide he's better than you anyway.
That's that next man up mentality.
So after the fumble, the Tritons are going to take over on their own 25-yard line. Irons, shotgun formation, a back to his left, and trips out to his left as well. One receiver to his right. We see a handoff there.
Well, I like that call. He liked, man, let's try and get a 90-yard touchdown, 80-yard. No. Let's pound some clock. Let's watch that defense. The defense was on the field a long way. Let's grind out a couple first downs and then hit them deep.
And one of the important things is to put yourself in second and third and medium, something that the Triton offense couldn't do in the first half, but they're doing a better job here in the second.
Well, Coach, my 3 favorite words were 2nd and 6. There's nothing wrong with 2nd and 6. You can do anything in your playbook.
Yep, that's true.
Irons alone in the backfield, 3 receivers out to his left and 2 out to his right side. as he takes the snap. Looks out to the right. A quick pass looks like it's
Pass complete.
He's going to pick up that first down. He'll be knocked out around.
Brought down by Jalen Fleckler. That'll be Triton. First down!
I like that offensive sequence there, moving the back out. You go empty backfield set. You add a guy there in motion where they have to account for him late, Coach, and then you take advantage of the matchup.
Exactly right. They thought we had 11 personnel in the game. We actually ended up going empty with him, and he catch the ball. I mean, what a great asset that is for a running back to be able to catch the football.
DJ Irons, shotgun formation. The fresh first down, a back to his left. Sends him in motion. Number 1, Jatovier Hill. Out to his right side now. So 2 receivers to his right and 3 to his left. Irons with some pressure.
By DJ. He's brought down. Good job of making the first man miss. At least he can keep the loss to a minimum there, Coach. Otherwise, you're looking at a big loss the first guy gets.
He must have had eyes in the back of his because that backside DN was untouched, and he just dodged him and averted disaster. Really, that would have been a 7 or 8 yard loss. And
DeAndre Butler there coming in kind of scot-free, wasn't touched there.
Holding.
Seen him
Number 9, defense. 10-yard penalty. That will result in a first down.
After what looked like could have been a little bit of a detriment to the drive there, they get the holding call, and they'll get marched up to just about midfield.
And that was down the field, too, kind of outside of the play. Wasn't even really involved in the play. Jawan Treadwell, the safety there on the hold.
We're in an unbalanced set here, actually, with trips plus the slot over here. And
handoff.
Howdy Hill on the carry.
It was Jatovier Hill right there on the carry for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Down to the 46.
Well, is that a big deal to run the ball on first down, make 4 or 5 yards? I mean, So it's a drive changer. Now you got 2nd and 6. You're not sitting there at incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. You got lots of options right here.
With this unbalanced loaded side here, I would like to see them go opposite side, near side hash mark, because they don't have anybody on the boundary out there. If you can get outside, you got a lot of real estate, Coach.
Coach, you just called it. They faked the one. You just called it, Rob. They faked the power play back to the strength of the formation. DJ kept it where they were outflanked to the weak side, and we need to get you a whistle and a hat and a dang Triton shirt on, Rob. Great call.
That was just something you could kind of see setting up there, and I thought they were going to kind of set them up for that, and they did.
So Irons gets out to about the 25-yard line of the Independence Pirates. The Tritons able to strike a couple of times. They're in that quarter. Score currently Independence Pirates 21, Tritons 14. We'll take a quick 30-second break and then be back with our last quarter of action right here on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network at Dodger Stadium. 15-minute clock set up for our 4th and final quarter. The Independence Pirates currently up against the Iowa Central Tritons, 21-14. Tritons with the ball on the Independence 27-yard line. Irons passes over the middle. He's able to get
Irons pass, complete. That is Aiken with the catch.
Hey, well, boys, we got them on their heels right now. Tremendous fake in there. We've been running the ball. They had to bite. A little slant pass right behind the linebacker's ears. He's stepping up to fill the gap. And, man, I've got some duties I have to do as AD during the 4th quarter here. So thanks for indulging my ignorance here and enjoy spending time with you both, you men.
Coach, it's always great to have you. Thank you for coming by the booth. Kevin Twait, athletic director here at Iowa Central. Glad to have him. Always good to catch up with him.
Option pitch.
Great to get some insight.
Now here, first out of bounds.
As we have.
You know, I think I know football, and then Kevin Twait comes up here and he talks all the terminology and stuff here on the broadcast, and kind of overshadows that by far. But always good to catch up with Coach Twait, and glad to have him. He's a guy that does a tremendous job running this athletic department at Iowa Central.
Makes us look a little bit better and more like we know what we're doing here on the network. DJ Irons by himself in the backfield. He's got 3 men out to his right and 1 to his left.
Irons on the scramble.
Left side. Trying to get close to that pylon and get in the end zone. Couldn't quite get there. They'll be within the 5 now.
First out just about the 3-yard line.
Tritons with a chance to tie the ball game now if they can punch it in here. What a difference a half makes, Dan Johnson.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about they kind of got off to that slower start. No points in the first half. Came out, believe there was just over 12 minutes left in the third quarter when they struck first and had that touchdown. We've got a timeout here. We'll be right back with some more fourth quarter action in the game. Independence Pirates up 21-14 against the Iowa Central Tritons. We'll be right back here on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network. 14:01 left in the fourth quarter here. Second can make a big difference here, so I'll make sure I put that in. Pirates up 21-14 against the Iowa Central Tritons. The Tritons on the Independence 3-yard line right now as DJ Irons keeps it himself, and they're going to signal the touchdown there. We'll see if they can put the extra point through or if they go for the 2-point. They've got just about 14 minutes to work with, so it wouldn't hurt to just nod it up here. But 20-21, the current score. We'll see what they do for sure here, the Tritons, as they come up to the point after.
I like that call there. Give the ball to your best player, DJ Irons. Give him some space there and try to open up a hole, and they did a good job. The interior offensive lineman there getting a hat on a hat and opening up a hole.
As we see the Tritons go for the extra point attempt. And that one is going to be no good. So we've got a 1-point game here in Dodger Stadium. The score, Iowa Central Tritons 20 and the Independence Pirates 21.
And, you know, special teams can be a major factor in the game, and we'll see. You know, I always kind of get that sinking feeling in my stomach when you leave points on the field like that, if it's going to come back and bite you. So we'll see how that pays dividends and plays out here in the fourth quarter.
So after just about a minute 10 into the fourth quarter, the Tritons able to get their third score, not even of the game, but even this half. Now 20-21, the Tritons down a point to the Independence Pirates visiting here in the Dodger Stadium.
We've got a crunch time situation, fourth quarter game. You know, Dan Johnson, it looked like in the first half that Independence was going to just kind of come in here and run away with it. They got up 21-0. The Tritons have scored 20 unanswered here. They've answered the bell. They were challenged, I'm sure, by Coach Montalto in the halftime locker room, and they've come out here in the second half, and really it's been a tale of two halves here.
And if you're getting into the game here for Stuff the Stadium for free, you got to be loving this. It's a tight game here. Just under 14 minutes to go in the game as the Pirates are set to receive here. Kick is up. A little bit shorter of a kick. Plenty of spin in the air. Going to be around the 35-yard line of the Pirates.
And that one's going to be a fair catch made by 52 Harrison Taylor. He's a defensive lineman out of McDonough, Georgia there, making the fair catch.
So we'll see the Pirates come on for their first drive of the fourth quarter after the Tritons were able to score. Missed a point after 20-21. 13:51 to go in the game here.
We'll see if the Triton defense, they've been really good since the first half. We'll see if they're able to get another 3 and out, get the ball back to the offense.
Independence getting their offense set up for this drive from their own 38-yard line. Quarterback Craig Wells on the field now. We saw Brown for the majority
of the game at the beginning, and we'll see the first time out of the half from the Independence Pirates. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout with them. Score Independence Pirates 21, the Iowa Central Tritons 20. We got a tight one right here on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network. 13:51 left in the game. Score Iowa Central Tritons 20, Independence Pirates 21, as we see a big play there. Looked like it's number 16 of Iowa Central, Stanley Cross, coming in to break up that play.
Good job by Stan Cross. He read that route there. That was a stop route by the outside receiver. Stan was giving him a little cushion, but then when the quarterback kind of locked in on where he was going with the ball, at that point, Stan was ready to get in there and break it up.
So the clock stopped at 13:47 after the incompletion. Wells takes the snap, hands it off to number 5 that time. Actually, it might have been number 3, Morgan Ellison. Looks like it was Ellison on that carry. He's a little more of the power runner.
Elijah Frecken again, the young man at linebacker, 5'10", 210 pounds, sophomore, making the most out of the opportunity. He's had a tremendous second half here and really has had a tremendous second half of the season since being inserted in the lineup a few games ago.
So after that, no gain on the play. Third, still 10 yards to go, 13-15 in ticking here in the game. Quarterback Wells, in pistol form, takes the snap, looking to pass on this one, looking out to his left, and he's going to be wrapped up by Triton number 94 of Iowa Central, Kalen Burt.
Sacked by Kalen Burt.
Kalen Burt out of Waterloo West High School, Waterloo, Iowa there, a 6'3", 250-pound sophomore, able to chase him down. Good job of getting penetration from the defensive line. Kalen Burt makes a big play, and we've seen a rejuvenated, revitalized defense here for Iowa Central in the second half.
So Rashad Whitty back to receive this punt. The Tritons down by a point, 12.5 to work with here in the game. Seeing if they can get themselves on top for the first time in this game. The Pirates punt this one. A little bit of a spiral on that one. Lands around the 25-yard line of the Tritons. Whitty going to come down on top of it. A scary thing if you're a Triton to see him go down on top of that. Looked like he might have almost muffed it, but it'll be down around the 10-yard line of the Tritons. They'll be set up with 12 minutes and 13 seconds to work with in this game, down 1 against the Pirates, 21-20.
Of course, if there is a guy who's going to take a chance, you know, you like Whitty in that situation because he's a guy with such great hands we've seen throughout the game here.
Right, a couple of one-hand catches for Whitty here today. Had that one where he had to go up into the clouds for it and then haul it down with his right hand. DJ Irons,
drive coming up.
He's in the backfield with Kurt Taylor. Shotgun formation, Taylor to his left, a receiver to his left, trips out to his right. Irons goes ahead and hands it off that time to Taylor. Taylor looked like he was brought down for a loss of maybe a couple of yards on that one.
Nothing doing inside there against the Independence defense. 64, Jahari Branch making a big play there. 6'3", 320-pound lineman, sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois.
So 2nd and 13 for the Tritons from their own 8-yard line, getting closer and closer to their end zone, a scary situation. Irons, shotgun formation, back to his right. 3 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. He fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and looked like he might have got brought down for a loss, getting edged closer and closer to that end zone.
Williams with the stop, brings up 3rd and long.
So it'll be 3rd and long for the Tritons. 3rd and about 14 for them from their own 7-yard line. See Irons looking to be in shotgun formation. A back to his right and Hill. A receiver to his right and trips out to his left. Irons takes the snap. Trying to find somebody, anybody, fires it out to the right side, and he's going to connect. Looked like it was the Hill. After
the very, very scary situation of that 3rd and long, and Irons getting swallowed up by Independence linemen. They're able to get that connection to Hill. Hill along the right sideline picks up the first down.
Yeah, beautiful play there. DJ was going through his progressions, found his check down to Hill. Hill had a lot of real estate there, able to pick up the first down.
And what was really scary was Irons looked like he got rid of it as he was hit, so it had a little bit of that wobble on the ball. But Hill is still able to get his hands around it and pick up that first down. As we see Irons rolling out to his left side. Looked like he might have just kind of had his feet awkwardly underneath him. Almost that scary situation you see in basketball sometimes where someone will come down with a rolled ankle.
Yeah, he just kind of couldn't plant there and went down, and DJ is upset because the defensive lineman didn't hit him hard, but did kind of hit him after he was already down. You know, in the college game, you don't have to check the man down. Once you fall, you're down. So.
Right. 2nd long 19 to be exact to get to the conversion for the first down. Just under 10 minutes to go in the game.
That's a bad break for Iowa Central to lose 9 there on that play.
And we'll get the officials here. See, you didn't see a flag on that one.
Timeout.
And we're going to see a timeout there from Iowa Central. We'll take a timeout with them here. Just under 10 minutes. The Independence Pirates 21, Iowa Central Tritons 20. We'll be right back with some more action here on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network, 9:51 left in the game. The Independence Pirates currently up 21-20 against the Iowa Central Tritons. DJ Irons, after a little bit of a stumble, 2nd and 19 situation, looking to find somebody to pass to, launches that one along the right sideline. And Tenarius Aiken went up for that one, but he couldn't quite haul it in. It would have been around midfield, enough for that first down after the big loss, but just a little bit over him, so he couldn't haul that in. Clock will be stopped at 9:45 left in the game. Still 19 yards to go to the conversion, 3rd down for the Tritons.
Of course, a 1-point ball game. Tritons trail 21-20 here with less than 10 to go. Big 3rd down for the offense here.
DJ Irons, shotgun formation, sends Hill into motion to the left side, so he's got 2 receivers out to the left, trips out to his right side, and we see some movement. We'll see who is called on first here.
Jason Young there, I know was
number 9. Offense.
Yep.
Yep, you're right. Young with some movement on that left side.
See, I didn't know if he was reading the offensive lineman or not, but I could see Young here jumping off sides there on the false start, but I wasn't sure if maybe he saw one of the linemen flinch as to why he moved. But nonetheless, now 3rd and 24, not a whole lot in the playbook for 3rd and 24.
They did have that longer conversion. I believe they had 16 yards to go, and they had that one that they converted, but a little bit more daunting of a task with the extra yards added on 3rd and 24, as you said, as Hill gets sent out, 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right of Irons. Irons with the shorter pass, seeing if they can gain that extra yardage. They're not going to be able to get there all the way. It looked like it was made to Christian Ford of the Iowa Central Tritons. So not going to be able to convert this time. Going to be forced into the 4th down and 8. So in the normal situation, if they would have stayed up there without the penalty, would have had about 4th and 3. But just got pushed back too far after a couple of mistakes. This drive going to be tossed, and they're going to have to move on as they punt away to the Pirates on this one.
Well, on the bright side, they've got plenty of time at 9 minutes here. It's a 1-possession game. You play defense here and get the ball back.
So the punt to Houston. Maybe comes up a little bit shorter than it would have with the wind coming against the Tritons. It'll land around the 40-yard line of the Pirates.
Yeah, Denzel Houston did a great job there of adjusting to that punt and able to haul it in, because otherwise, you know, that was a tough fair catch to make there. Otherwise, that's going to be a turnover.
So now the Pirates come on to the field. We saw earlier the Tritons could win it with a field goal if they were able to put one through and hold on to that lead, but I believe that was the direction we saw the field goal attempt earlier by the Pirates in the game, and that one shanked right, possibly due to the wind, as we see the Pirates breaking through to about midfield. Number 7, Dollard on the carry that time. So he's going to pick up that first down. Dollard will after the run by the Independence Pirates. They'll be on their own 49-yard line, just about into Triton territory, as we've got Wells in pistol formation and back behind him. 2 receivers out to his right. We see handoff again to Dollard. Dollard.
Good job there.
Looked like he got back to about the 49-yard line. The defensive stop by the Tritons there.
35, Elijah Frecken there making the play along with E.J. Brown. Brown's had a good game, so has Frecken, especially in this second half. We've seen a lot more Elijah Frecken, and I feel like he kind of brings an extra spark here to the Triton defense.
So about 8 minutes, 5 seconds and ticking left in the game here. Independence up 21-20 against the Tritons. We've got Wells in at the game now at quarterback, as we saw Brown for the majority of the game, but Wells takes the snap and fakes the handoff there. He keeps it himself. He's going to get out to about the 35-yard line of the Tritons. They'll put it at the 36. And Wells we hadn't really seen rush much yet in this game.
We haven't, but there he obviously saw in his own read the defensive end pinched down there. He saw the lane there, and he kept it himself.
So Wells now, after the rush, getting a fresh set of downs for the Independence Pirates, fires it out to the right sideline, able to connect with a receiver at about the 30. And he's going to be brought down after a gain of a few. Looked like it was number 17 of the Independence Pirates on that reception, Raekwon Heath.
Wells pass was complete to Raekwon Heath.
Raekwon Heath, a young man out of Columbia, South Carolina, AC Flora High School.
2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 for the Pirates. Wells pistol formation and back behind him, and 2 receivers out to his left. Wells fumbles the snap, and the Tritons are going to come up with that one. It'll be number 43 able to come up with that one, Rocky Schoenfelder. So Schoenfelder able to get the Tritons another drive chance, maybe a little bit earlier than they would have came up with one by themselves now. With 7 minutes to work with.
I could go Rocky Balboa reference here, or I could go show and tell for Schoenfelder as he comes up with the fumble recovery, but a big play nonetheless for Rocky Schoenfelder.
So now DJ Irons and the rest of the Iowa Central offense going to be set up with a drive thanks to Rocky. Irons, shotgun formation and back to his right, and trips out to his right with 1 receiver to his left, fires it out to the right quickly. He finds Aiken. Aiken is going to come up with that pass. A little bit lower, but he was able to get down and come up with that one. So 2nd and just about 5 to go. The Tritons will be on their own 39-yard line. Irons in the backfield, shotgun formation, a back to his right. 2 receivers on both sides of him. Irons couldn't find anybody, and he's going to be taken down as he was stepping up in the pocket. Butler, we hear his name once again on the stop.
Yeah, Butler has been active here today. Rashad Whitty was open. They weren't able to find him under pressure there. For the Triton defense, their 5th forced turnover of the game comes in the form of a Rocky Schoenfelder fumble recovery. We'll see if the offense can capitalize, but again, 3rd and long situation.
Losing that yardage, 3rd and 11 for the Tritons now, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. DJ Irons, shotgun formation, all by himself in the backfield, trips out to his left, and a couple receivers out to his right. Irons takes a snap, looks for a second, and he decides to keep it himself. gets near the 40-yard line of the Tritons. Not going to be good enough for the third down conversion.
Well, that was a called quarterback draw there where you spread everybody out on the empty set. He drops back like you think he's going to throw, and what that does is it's designed to make the defense kind of spread out there, leaving the middle of the field. Then you take your guard and your center there and pinch, leaving the lane for the quarterback, and he's able to pick up a few there, but not enough for the first down.
Yeah, about a 5-yard gain, going to make it 4th and 6. So the Tritons are looking to punt here with Houston back to receive for the Pirates. That one a little bit lower of a punt than we've seen.
It hit the up man, though. Oh, almost a huge break for the Tritons because it hit the up man on the return team.
So what could have been another recovery for the Tritons ends up with Houston having the smarts to lunge forward a little bit and get on top of it. So the Pirates will take over from around their own 20-yard line.
And we talked about Oklahoma being in trouble earlier, Dan Johnson. Well, it's official. The Sooners fall to Kansas State on the road, 48-41. So there's your big upset from around the country.
That is going to be a tough loss there for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts usually finding himself in the weight room even after wins. He's right back in there, and we'll definitely see him putting in work after that loss. As we see a rush there by Dollard for the Pirates.
Good job defensively by the Tritons up front there. Able to get some pressure and some penetration there. Matt Hanson, the 6'3", 290-pound sophomore out of Western High School in Davie, Florida, there to make the stop. So good play from Matt Hanson.
See Craig Wells in shotgun formation, a back to his right, and two receivers out to his right as well. Wells takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's looking out to his left side, fires it out through the left side. And number 17 of Independence, I believe that is Raekwon Heath. It is. He comes up big along the right sideline.
Raekwon Heath made a tremendous play to make an adjustment on that ball. That ball was thrown over his back shoulder there from Craig Wells, and Heath able to adjust on it and make a play. And that's just a big-time player making a big-time play. There's not much that you can do about it.
Raekwon able to stay in bounds as well and run some time off the clock. 4:15 and ticking here in the fourth quarter. Tritons have 2 timeouts to stop the clock here in the fourth quarter as we see a flag fly out. We'll see what we get for the call as we get some stoppage in play.
And now you start to
number 64.
You start to look at clock management now. You're down a point, 4:12. You know, at some point you've got to start thinking about using the timeouts here. Maybe a little too early to do that right now. So Coach Montalto's got to think at this point, you know, clock management.
So the false start against Indy is going to make this 1st and 15 now. Wells shotgun formation, back to his left, 2 receivers out to his left and 2 out to his right. As we see the pass completed there to Dell. Dell got about 2-3 yards on that one.
Stays in bounds, though, keeps the clock moving at 3:45 and counting now left in the ball game.
So after that 3-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and 12 for the Indy Pirates, up 21-20 against the Tritons. 3.5 minutes here left in the game. As Independence gets some communication from its sideline. Craig Wells is going to be in shotgun formation and back to his right. Receiver out to his left and 2 out to his right. As Wells takes the snap, rolls out to his right side, trying to find somebody, anybody. He's going to have to get it thrown in the end zone.
Oh, it's going to be interference.
Yeah, we get that flag thrown. Number 17, Raekwon Heath, was in the end zone. He looked like he was going to try and go underneath his defender, but then got a little bit of a shove, and as you said, we'll get that interference call.
Going to be on 16, Stanley Cross, the 5'10", 175-pound freshman defensive back out of Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. And Stanley got turned around there and couldn't get back around and was face guarding the man. Not only was he face guarding the man, and that would have been pass interference for not getting his head turned around, but also basically pushed the guy too. Now, he may have saved a touchdown, so you're okay with that in that situation, but kind of got turned around there. Nonetheless, going to be a first down for Independence.
So Independence now set up 1st and 10 on their own 20, or excuse me, the Triton 20-yard line. Just over 3 minutes ago, 3:08 on the clock left in the game.
I would be shocked if Independence didn't try to run the football here.
We have
the
seen
lead and the fresh set of downs in the red zone.
So Wells, shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. We see Wells keep it himself. He's trying to go around the right end. And he gets out around the 15-yard line of the Tritons, it looked like. They'll place it at the 16-yard line of the Tritons. So 2nd and 6, just over 3 minutes to go. Clock stopped after Wells went out of bounds at 3 minutes, 2 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, and the coaches are telling him don't go out of bounds, you know. They'll rewind here on the clock, and it'll start back. The 4-yard gain was because Tion Dollard threw a heck of a block to spring that. Otherwise, that's a loss on the play. Tion Dollard, a tremendous job out of the running back spot to block for his quarterback.
Wells with a back behind him, hands it off this time to Dollard. Dollard is going to get into the end zone for a touchdown.
Tremendous cutback from Tion Dollard there. Saw that cutback lane and made that lane. Tremendous vision there on the cutback.
We see a penalty flag out there on the field. We'll see who it's against here. And if you're Independence and this one gets called back, you're going to be upset. You've already had one in the first quarter called back after Dollard found himself in the end zone.
Unnecessary roughness.
We get an unnecessary roughness called against the Iowa Central Tritons, and it's going to be enforced on kickoff.
So the 16-yard touchdown run will stand for Tion Dollard.
Independence up by 7 now. They'll extend it to 8 if they're able to punch this one through, which would force you into that 2-point conversion if you're the Tritons and you end up in the end zone later. They'll have about 2.5 minutes to work with to try and get themselves into the end zone, but we'll first see if this extra point is put through. We've already seen one miss today earlier, but that one's going to be good, sent through the uprights. So the Independence Pirates up 28-20 against the Iowa Central Tritons here in Dodger Stadium. Just over 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We'll be back with some more action in the rest of your game here on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network. We got a tight one here. Just over 2.5 minutes left in the game. Independence Pirates up by 8, 28-20 against the Iowa Central Community College Tritons. We've got a penalty, had some unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty assessed here. Independence kicking off from midfield as they send this one back. Of course, it's going to go through the end zone. And it looked like
good for field goal, too.
So the Iowa Central Tritons taking over with 2:38 left on the clock in the game, an 8-point deficit to overcome from their own 20-yard line.
Going to have to score and go for 2 because at this point you don't have enough time to try to make this 2 possessions. You're going to have to score and then try to get the 2-point conversion.
Independence sending some motivation from the sideline there, trying to get their defense hyped up. And we've got DJ Irons taking the snap, looking out to the right side of the field. Couldn't find anybody. He's trying to keep himself alive, but he's going to be taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, good job of getting pressure there. They were able to get some penetration. 42, Daylon Williams, a 6'2", 250-pound red shirt sophomore defensive end out of Smyrna, Tennessee, makes a big play.
As it looks like we've got a Triton down on the field. See if we can figure out who it is for sure. It looked like it might have been Irons down on the field, which is not something that you want to see if you just got this guy back to 100% health.
Yeah, and it will be DJ there, and they'll tend to him now. The question will remain, obviously, you don't want to lose him at any, length of time here, but you're going to probably lose him for the last 2.5 minutes. So you're going to probably go Chance Gibbons, because I know Brantley last week did not suit up. I'm not sure if he suited up today or not, but Arthur Brantley had been out with an injury, so not sure if they're going to have much of a chance other than to go with Gibbons here at quarterback the rest of the way here, but we'll see. Looks like they may have checked into the ball game. See who's checked in 5 now. Arthur Brantley is in the game, so he missed last week. He's back, and he'll check in and take over. He's got a chance to write down his name in the books of legends here if he can engineer a comeback here.
Brantley is going to be shotgun backfield all alone. 2 receivers out to his right and trips out to his left as he takes the snap. Keeps it himself, goes up the middle. Going to come out towards the left side, and he coughs up the ball. We get a whistle.
Yeah, he's down.
And it sounds like they call him down around the 25 of the Tritons themselves.
Timeout, Iowa Central. That's their second.
So we almost see a huge momentum shift after what was thought to be a fumble, but Arthur Brantley going to be called down on that one. The Pirates up 28-20 against the Tritons. We'll be right back here with the rest of the action on the Triton Nation Network. We're back here on the Triton Nation Network. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. Pirates up of Independence 28-20 against the Iowa Central Tritons. The Tritons just about coughed up a fumble there. We've got Arthur Brantley in the game after DJ Irons left with a little bit of an injury. But it actually looks like, is that DJ Irons back in the game right now?
Yep.
Yeah, we've got him back there alone in the backfield. Takes the snap, fires it out over the left sideline. Was intended for number 15, Mario Wright.
And I think that would have been interference other than Mario Wright was out of bounds before he would have had a chance to make the catch there. So because of the fact that he was already out of bounds, you can't call interference. Otherwise, I think that probably would have been a lot of hand fighting down there between the defensive back.
So now DJ Irons, 4th and 11. You got just over 2 minutes to work with. They're going for it here. The Tritons are. Got to get one into the end zone and put up a 2-point conversion to try and keep yourself in this one. Tritons with 1 timeout left. DJ Irons takes a snap. He's looking to his left. Can't find anything. And he's going to be brought down in the backfield around the Triton 10-yard line.
That's going to be a turnover on downs, and you can just about kind of feel this one.
Stay out of it. DeMarcus, stay out of it. Stay out of it, buddy.
This is going to end up being a situation here where it's pretty much all academic from here. So a big defensive play for Independence. They get the ball back on turnover on downs, and 2 minutes to go here, Dan Johnson, and Independence can pretty much just kind of salt this one away.
Yeah, just under 2 minutes, as you said. Up 28-20. It was looking like the Tritons might mount the comeback. They were down by a point after they scored all 3 of their touchdowns here in this second half. It was looking like all Tritons, and then the Indy Pirates were able to find themselves, as we see Dollard on a run there. Got maybe a yard or 2. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Tritons now, 1:45 and ticking in the 4th quarter.
Freaking with the tackle for the Tritons.
1 timeout left for the Tritons here. Independence still with a couple. As we've got Wells in the game at quarterback for the Independence Pirates. Wells going to be shotgun formation and back to his left. looking to have 2 receivers out to his right, no one out to his left. Wells takes the snap, hands it off. We'll see who is 2. Looks like it's Dollard again. Dollard looked like he might have went down around the 2-yard line of the Tritons. A minute to go here in the game.
Of course, if they punch this one in, they can put an exclamation point here on this one for Independence. They're going to get out of here with a victory. The question at this point becomes by how much.
Wells with his offense on the 1-yard line. Independence with 10 seconds to go on the play clock. They're going to use as much of that as they can, of course, to try and put this one away. Wells, pistol formation, a back behind him, and a receiver on each side. Hands it off to Dollard. Dollard.
Stacked up.
Yeah, not going to quite get into there. And we will see a timeout from the Iowa Central Community College Tritons.
That's their 3rd and final.
We'll stick with you here since we got just over 30 seconds to go. Make sure you stick around. Right after we get done with the game, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, talk about some of our points that we've gotten through the day, and just go ahead and put a nice little bow and wrap this one up.
Yeah, you know, one thing I'm impressed by here, Dan, is Iowa Central is still playing to the whistle here. You know, it could have been very easy for them, would be very easy for the defense to just kind of let Dollar go into the end zone right there and just, you know, kind of go along with it. But these young men, you know, are going to compete to the final whistle. They've shown that all year, and they're continuing to show that here today as well.
They proved that they're not going to be discouraged even by coming in. They had, I believe, a 21-point deficit. They were scoreless in the first half, came in, and they were able to put 20 points up on the board just in this half.
Yeah, they were able to put themselves in position to win the game late, and unfortunately it's just not going to work out for them.
Going to be 4th down and 2. This one a little bit shorter of a field goal than we saw earlier, about 19 yards. And we saw that earlier first half field goal shanked over to the right. Of course, that was in a different direction as well. That was towards the other post. This one is going to be signaled good by the refs.
That makes it a 2-score game and will pretty much, you know, be your ball game at this point with 28 seconds left. But, you know, the Tritons can take a lot of positives, I think, out of this situation here and did a good job after they got down early. They dug themselves a little bit of a hole in the first half, but after that they really responded to it, and they've pulled all the way back to within 1 point. Now, Independence, give them a lot of credit for making plays down the stretch there, and they were able to, you know, score in a big situation on a run by Dollard there, and then also to get the turnover on downs on the stop and then get the field goal here. So they've made some big plays when they had to make them down the stretch.
We talked about how it would have been easy for Iowa Central to just let it go in that second half after the first half, but it also would have been easy for Independence to lay off the breaks after they had those 20 points scored on them.
True.
There, but they did a great job, as you said, of keeping themselves in the game and putting up those 2 extra scores to make it a 2-score game now.
Yeah, when you get that lead and then the other team starts coming back on you too, and it becomes kind of a mental thing, you know. They didn't falter or fold at all. They came back and made plays, and so credit to them.
So we're going to see Independence kick that one out of bounds. We'll see the flag fly out.
Now, question will be if they send DJ back out or if they're going to send Brantley out on this final drive. If it's me, I would probably just play it close to the vest here and send Brantley out for the last drive and just go from there, because I don't – you know, I'm thinking a situation where it's 11 points, 28 seconds. I don't want to put DJ in a situation where he can get hurt in a game where, you know, barring some – comeback of biblical proportions,
right,
you're not going to win the game anyway.
Just under 30 seconds, a little bit tough to work with if you're trying to get 11 points up on the board. Got to get that touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and then the field goal afterwards as well. But we do see DJ Irons come back out on the field. He's got Jatovier Hill in the backfield with him to his right. And we're going to see the
Might as
officials
well
here
open the playbook up here and throw the ball down the field. You know, throw the ball down the field, be aggressive here, and we'll see if they do that here on first down.
So DJ Irons, shotgun formation and back to his right. 2 receivers on both sides of him.
slings it over to the right side, and that one, that's going to be picked off.
It's going to be incomplete.
They call that. Yep, they do. They call that one off. So incomplete pass. 22-9 to go in the fourth quarter. Pirates up 31-20 at the 11-point lead.
Good job by Jalen Stryker, the corner. We talked about him, a long, tall, rangy corner, 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Tampa, Florida there. He makes a tremendous play there and almost gets the pick there on off the ground.
DJ Irons, 2nd and 10. The Tritons from their own 35-yard line. Takes the snap. He's got 4 receivers out there, 2 on each side. As we have the receiver cut back into the field. Looks like this might be the last play of the game. That was Terrell Carey able to come up with that one.
Triton first down.
As we've got just under 14 seconds to go in the game.
And the first down call, the enthusiasm has not waned from the PA announcer here at Dodger Stadium. So he's playing hard to the whistle in this game too.
Yep. As we have the quick spike there to stop the clock at just over 10 seconds left in the game.
At this point, you know, the Tritons going to try to get a score on the board, but also this gives you an opportunity to work on this situation for when you need it later on in the season.
When you're in the crunch time trying to get some more points up on the board. So Irons with one receiver out to his right, trips out to his left, and Hill to his left in the backfield. Dumps it off to Hill there quickly. Hill with the smarts to go out towards the left sideline. Got close to that first down. If not, got it. Just over a second and a half left in the game. So they'll have one more chance to get it into the end zone here.
And I'm kind of glad on that play that Hill was able to get out of bounds because it looked like 10, Therese Knight was fixing to deliver the boom there toward the sideline.
He got it into that middle of the field as well. So Hill with the ability to dodge past those defenders and get out. As Irons is looking to connect that one.
It was tipped there. Good job by the defensive end getting a hand on it.
So after the tip, the clock is going to run out. Nothing left on the board anymore. The Pirates walk away with this win 31-20 against the Iowa Central Tritons. We can go ahead. We'll get into our post-game analysis here, go over what we saw throughout the game. A lot of the ground game that we were expecting to see from the Pirates, which we did see from the Independence Pirates.
We did see that from Independence. You know, they are a run-first football team, and in today's game they would score 4 times on the runs. 2 of them by Stephon Brown, the quarterback, in the first half, 1 yard and 8 yards for him on the touchdown runs. He went out in the second half. 2-yard touchdown run by Shamari Jones as well. That would put them up 21-0. Then they would get another score late. The deciding touchdown was a 16-yard touchdown run by Tion Dollard. So all of their touchdowns came from the ground game here today.
A big thing is the tenacity from both teams to bring back in the aggressiveness when they thought they might have been counted out. The Tritons were completely scoreless in the first half. They were able to put up 20 points alone in that second half.
They battled back, and that's a sign of character, you know, and a lot of guts here today to battle back in a situation where really they could have just kind of rolled over at halftime and probably gotten beaten, you know, 35, 40-something points and just been done with it, but they weren't content with that, and so that's something that you point to as a positive here. But you also, you know, you look at the fact that they were able to make some adjustments and execute as well in the second half. So some things you can build on. You know, a lot of folks say that you don't fail, you just either succeed or learn, and that's kind of the situation here. Is, you know, you lose the ball game and, you know, you end up at 500 mark at this point, but there are a lot of positives to take from today's game.
As you said, the Tritons now going to be at 500 on their win, 5-5. The Independence Pirates going to move up to 5-3, and they'll etch that away record up from 2-2 to 3-2. So.
Yep, and now the Tritons have 2 games left in the season. Fort Scott on the road this coming week, and then 2 weeks Hutchinson. Now, you want to finish above 500 or at least at 500. You've got a chance to do that, but you're going to have to split two difficult games. Fort Scott, as Coach Thwaite mentions, the number 14 team in the country, and you're playing on the road with them, and then Hutchinson, who's number 3 in the country, is coming in. So it's not going to be easy. Triton's going to have to regroup, kind of tighten some things up, and importantly, Dan, probably most importantly to the whole thing is they're going to have to put 4 quarters of football together, and today they really only had about 2.5 today. So they're going to have to put 4 together to beat teams like Fort Scott and Hutchinson coming up.
As you said, we kind of saw most of the energy in the second half, and you said we've got to see the 4 quarters of play. That's always a big thing, because if in those first 2 quarters you can really dominate, you've got that momentum going into that second half.
Now for the Tritons today, offensively they were slow getting started, but they were able to get started in the second half and score after being down 21-0, scored 20 unanswered. The 3 touchdowns, 2 of them passing. DJ Irons to Tenarius Aiken. Tenarius with 2 touchdown catches today, 4 yards and 12 yards, and then also DJ Irons with a 3-yard touchdown run there. Some pretty good play. I thought inspired play from the defense. I thought the defense played a little better than what it looks like in terms of the final score at 28-20, because they were on the field a lot because the offense couldn't get going, at least in the first half. And I thought the defense, was able to do some things, some positives. They forced 5 turnovers today. E.J. Brown with a fumble recovery. Stanley Cross. Stanley had a interception. Elijah Frecking with a forced fumble. Rocky Schoenfelter with a fumble recovery as well. So the defense had some big plays today. It was just one of those deals where the offense didn't get going until the second half.
They were able to get clicking. We saw a couple of big plays that might have given them some momentum. Those 2 nice one-handed catches from receiver Rashad Whitty.
Right.
One of them right into his left breadbasket, caught it in the cradle of his left arm, and then was able to control it. And then we saw the one where he went up around the 10-yard line, hauled it in with the right hand. And
set him up around the 2 or 3 for the DJ Irons touchdown run. That was a big-time play, a highlight, Sports Center highlight kind of play there. And I hope somebody sends that one in to the various highlight shows.
Should have it on the
might make the cut.
Yeah. But as we talked about, the rushing is a big thing, and I feel like one of the biggest things that we pounded home throughout the game is that it's spread through so many players on that Pirate team.
Yeah, we talked about it coming in. 4 guys who average over 35 yards rushing in a game. That's balance and that's depth, and they are a committee. We talked about it all game long, kind of that law firm of Jones, Dollard, and Ellison. Those guys did a good job running the football. And when you've got Stephon Brown, when he's healthy and in the game too at quarterback, then you have a 4th guy, because Brown is actually their 2nd leading rusher on the season. So you've got a lot of options there and a lot of ways you can go, and different guys who do different things well at the running back spot.
Well, that'll about do it for our game out here at Dodger Stadium. The score ending up Independence Pirates 31 and the Iowa Central Tritons 20. So the Pirates are going to be heading back home with this win. Rob, I really appreciate you coming out here and helping us out with the game today.
Hey, not a problem. I appreciate you guys having me. Anytime that I can get out and do a football game, I'm more than happy to do it. And, of course, Dan Johnson, now kind of being in this world and working in this world, anytime that I don't have to drive further than about 15 minutes is a plus.
It's a great game.
I'm liable to take any, if somebody calls and they want me to work a game, I may take almost any assignment depending on schedule and things of that nature. But if you tell me I don't have to drive any further than 15 minutes, then I'm more likely to take that assignment.
Hey, there we go. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this great game of football. Again, the Independence Pirates heading out of here with the win, 31-20. We'll be back later on next home game for some more Triton action right here on the Triton Nation Network.